put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego I'ma take her. Shaker, yeah, she was a ball shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Something like a rope when we came out there. We settled facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes and breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up in the slipping. Put another smile like it was the last Christmas. Hey. Put the place up. Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego I'ma take her. Shaker, yeah, she was a ball shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Sounding like a rose when we came out there. We settled facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes and breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you're slipping. With another smile like it was the last Christmas. Hey.
Good morning and welcome back to the SMITE Global Series. Today is all about Oceania. I, Grant, myself, will be bringing you this broadcast today, all about Outlaws versus Bang the Drum. If you don't know about them, here's how the standings look.
Bang the Drum has looked pretty solid so far during their inaugural Global Series season, but Atletico is the one to beat so far in Oceania, 5-0. It's an impressive record.
Bang the Drum, though, sat in a pretty good position for themselves at the moment, still with a week or so left to play. If they can find a couple of wins, there is a chance they could overtake Atletico for that spot. But first of all, they've got to get through a struggling Outlaws Gaming.
Yeah, and it's got to be a 2-0 here for Bang the Drum as well, if you consider that plus-minus. And then in the final week, they'll likely take on Atletico. So Bang the Drum not dead yet, but they definitely need a little bit of help, and they need to take care of business here today.
Well, let's find out how this one breaks down. Get into picks and bans and find out how well Outlaws can do. Outlaws themselves, they do have a coach that may be recognized around the world a little bit more so in Husey.
No, that's Bang the Drum.
I said Outlaws.
Yeah, you said Outlaws.
I meant Bang the Drum.
I got there for you.
It doesn't matter. It's Hughes.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just like, telling them how to pick Xing Chen and dead them so quickly.
That could be the case, or not pick Xing Chen, so he can't say that phrase again.
Right, yeah.
Giannis banned out by Outlaws, one of the gods that basically has great mobility, global presence, and everybody hates him at the pro level of play. In the casual games, no one can play.
Exactly, and in Oceania specifically, a lot of these mid laners seem to like the Giannis. That is a pretty priority pick here in this region, so no surprise to see that banned away right away. Double mid laners banned by Outlaws, trying to focus out the mid for Bang the Drum.
So with this then, Outlaws get first pick. Chernobog is on the table here, and Outlaws could look to take this for themselves, but it will be the Circuit first pick.
A little bit interesting. I mean, clearly Oceania understands how good global pressure is. I mean, healers, yeah, but they clearly understand how good global pressure is with the Giannis bans and the Athena bans. That maybe the Chernobog might be slipping up a little bit underneath the radar. Artemis is still a great hunter, definitely a top tier one, but a little surprised that we don't see Chernobog off the board yet.
Interested by Outlaw's choice here as well with the Giannis and the Raijin bans. They didn't elect a mid laner themselves. It kind of gave it up for Bang the Drum anyway with that Circuit pick. I guess they were hoping they would go for the Raw, or maybe they wanted the Raw and were dissuading the pick of Raw.
Yeah, I think that's either way you're getting Raw or Thoth in this spot, and that's why I'm not a big fan of them banning double mid laners in the first place. Like, you're going to give up Thoth or Raw. Both of those are just as good as Raijin in my mind. So, I mean, maybe Raijin is like the best pick for Bang the Drum, but outside of that, I don't see much of a reason to ban both mid laners in that first spot.
Do like the Sobek pick nice there from Bang the Drum, just to make sure they've got some sort of anti-heal to deal with the Raw in this game. Odin will be banned out by themselves. We're a little bit worried about the Odin being picked by Outlaws.
Yeah, surprising. I mean, it's good against their 3 picks, but I think that Outlaws would probably be a little bit more worried about it with the healer on their side, but doesn't really matter. I mean, you still have a lot of options now to go for if you want to try and lock down these characters on Bang the Drum. Ymir's on the table here, and all these characters would struggle against those walls in the jungle.
Can down for Anher here from Outlaws, just to deal with the Artemis Geb duo lane. I mean, at the moment, you could go Cerberus in the solo. You could also go Sylvanas, and then go Sylvanas and her for a nice pressure lane early on.
Yeah, I would like that, I think. I think that makes sense. This could be Achilles solo to try and really pressure out this Sobek in the early game, but Achilles, I don't know. It just doesn't feel that impactful to me anymore. It took a lot of nerfs, just nerf after nerf, and it feels like he's just a little bit too lackluster in the late game.
I could agree.
For me to really want to pick him early.
Well, the Geba-Wheelix-Sobek combination, something we've not seen too often.
I love it.
Recently has been receiving some buffs, so we'll find out how well she's going to do here. Plenty of knockups on the side of the boys of Bang the Drum.
Yeah.
This is BTD. I had to work out what the name was then.
And there's some leaps on the inside for Outlaws, too. Russian Panda's going to be leaping away. Toonie knocks himself up. Pure Might has ambush. Like, this is a really, really smart Oilish pick that we haven't really seen quite that much of in the Pro League lately, but I think it can really work out here.
You know Husey was at home going, yeah, wait till the casters see these picks and bans. They're going to be so proud of me. And I'm like, yeah, good job. You picked Oilish.
You really think Husey's there for every picks and bans?
Oh, yeah. He'll be listening to this cast all the way through.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's why there'll be no Dead So Quickly's here today. Potential red buff start. I'm not sure about this one. I'm not really sold. I mean, Geb Artemis is not the strongest wave clear lane in existence whatsoever. And yet they've been given easy pressure at the start of this game because Outlaws chose to start their red buff.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Russian Panda's Ghastly Breath is enough to at least deter that easy wave clear. And both minis, Red Team, the Bang the Drum, just needs to get both minis in that spot. guarantee themselves 2 off the next wave. They get a little bit lucky there to get the buff.
Those body blocks are pretty good, but the knockup was even better. Geb with Blink, so he can't really escape this. This should be first blood. And Bang the Drum, they got a nice easy wave on that first wave. Went for the purple, stole it, but it cost him a life.
Right, because the red buff for Toonie is going to do more than creeps that don't affect your power level whatsoever in the duo lane. And that's why what I was saying was, if you just get the minis off of the purple buff and back up, that guarantees that you hit 2 off the next wave, whereas Outlaws will not. And that gives you a much better fighting chance than taking a 50-50 coin flip on the buff itself and just losing the trade outright because the enemy ADC has red buff and you don't. That's just not the right fight to take.
And just in the duo lane at the start, because they started the red buff, Outlaws were able to invade the red buff from Bang the Drum. So this starts to get a little bit worse then for Bang the Drum, as Outlaws have pressure in both mid and in the duo lane early on. They can start to capitalize on this.
Mingyu, I mean, is in a pretty good spot now because he had got a half of a wave solo, but outside of that, man, Toonie's going to be feeling pretty good about his start thus far, as should Pure Might and Bizicle, because they have that opportunity to use that pressure that they've gotten in that mid lane. And if anytime that you can keep the pressure onto an Awilix and not have to worry about her surprising you, then you're going to be in a much better spot. Awilix is really, really good when you're running away from her because she can knock you up. You know, it's much easier for her to be the aggressor. But she is awful whenever you are the one pressuring her, when she's on the run, because her tools are all stand and fight or get you while you're running away oriented. So if you can put pressure on Doinkster here, it's going to be tough for him to make stuff work.
Busy count on the mid lane for Outlaws on that Raw, going for the Warlock staff start. We don't see it as often these days. In this composition, though, does he want to be going for some health?
I think I'd still prefer some CDR here for Bizicle. I mean, it's not horrible to go for Warlock staff. It's never awful, but it is slow. It doesn't really bring the power that you really want in the early game, and I just don't know that he really does need it here. You can outrange a lot of these knockups and things like that fairly easily. Doinkster's going to be blinking on him, but the physical protections he gets from that Solar Blessing is probably going to be enough to at least or not immune, but get him out of a lot of that damage. I don't think I would have gone for Warlocks.
What a time to be alive when we're not talking about Warlocks and Book of Toth every single game for the mid laners. Neither really gets picked up. I still think Book of Toth is useful in the later stages of the game where it once upon a time was positioned.
Right.
You still get the stacks. They're not that important, but that extra mana and the power is very useful.
It definitely can be. It's just early Soul Reavers. It's kind of prioritized now. I think that we're seeing a little bit more Book as of late. Now, that'll continue to grow as people recognize it's still good.
Outlaw's going to be aggressive on towards Mingyu, who's still level 3, gets knocked up. Beads are during the knockup, and that doesn't do anything for you, but the juke boots and the trap turn that around nicely there from Bang the Drum to make sure they survive.
Pure Might just misses the Cobra's Kiss on Mingyu after the beads were already down, and that's got to feel bad. That was definitely an opportunity for Outlaws, but a great knockup by Doinkster to make sure that his ADC stayed safe there. That Awilix was that was perfect.
Oh, but this time the kiss and miss will hit, but it's not going to get the snipe off at the same time. Just a miscommunication of errors there from the Outlaws. Could have found themselves a kill on Yada.
I don't know that actually does result in a kill because both Bizicle and Pure Might were completely out of mana. I mean, if Serket has literally one ability after that snipe hits, then that could have absolutely been a kill. It would have done a lot of damage to Yada, but I'm not positive it would have brought him down. And that was one of those awkward spots where you'll see it sometimes with Athena taunt and with Serket taunt, where if the character that does the taunt moves a little bit too much, it'll cause that weird circle that kind of happens, and that ends up missing, or forcing Bizicle to miss.
Well, still 1-0 then for Outlaws. They've been on the aggressive a little bit more so since the outset of this game. They invaded the purple on the left-hand side moments ago, but they didn't find that purple. I did like the fact that we showed respect there, where the gank failed.
Yes.
Instead of hanging around still trying to get a buff after the fact, they just gave it up, went back, reset again.
Exactly, and even though Outlaws hasn't found a victory quite yet in the summer split, I think that they've definitely learned a lot from playing against this top-end competition in Oceania. You can tell just from their performance from week 1 until now, this team has become much more patient and much more cognizant of what they're able to get away with at any given time.
Yeah, one issue Oz always seemed to have is teams sticking together has caused them slight discomfort on trying to play on the grand stage most of the time, or even finding regular season games. But this Outlaw squad seems to be doing some work. Pure Might now in the jungle, looking towards Mingyu.
Mingyu still no beads, but Pure Might's really far forward by himself here, and Doinkster is going to try and put some pressure onto him. Beads a little bit too late there, and Doinkster gets the first kill for Bang the Drum.
Featherstep still does damage, you know. Everybody's kind of took away the damage because it got a couple of nerfs to it over the season, but still a strong ability.
Very much so. And now Pure Might has got to be feeling real scared about where this Awilish is going to be in his jungle constantly. I mean, there's just no way for him to get away without that purification beads, unless he's using Last Breath to CC Doingster while he ambushes away. That's kind of his only option at this point.
Doesn't help as well with how Outlaw's duo lane is doing so well against Bang the Drum here as well. You can see they've got a bit of a level lead in this duo lane against Weave and Mingyu just because of the start, but now Doingster's over here for a gank attempt on split push. Very early ultimate out, but he will get him with a knock-up. Just a tip was good enough to get the Crocodile in range for the Lurking in the Waters.
You really feel comfortable saying just the tip for the Doingster? I don't know about all that.
I mean, it was just a phrase. You just took it the wrong way. You know?
Oh, yeah, that was on me?
Yeah. I don't know why people get so upset when it technically was the tip of the ability. Was it not?
It sure was.
There you go then.
Just, they probably could have used a different one.
Mingyu under pressure has to bore. Nice ultimate though in response, but it wasn't at the right time. So Russian Panda still ends up getting hit by that. Couldn't find the Stygian Torment in time.
I think that Mingyu was safe
actually,
in that spot. Yeah, I don't think he needed a beads because remember, Caledonian DeBoer gives you 3 seconds of CC immunity. That's really nice. That gives you a lot of safety. So I think Mingyu actually would have stayed CC immune long enough after that board to immune that Stygian Torment. Plays it safe and make sure that he's not going to get pulled in because that would have been an easy kill for Tooney and that would have made this already bad situation in duo lane even worse.
Well, Doingster on the run as Pure Might was setting up a gank attempt there in the jungle. They're looking for this red buff, but a nice stop from Yada. Going to put the pressure onto Pure Might. Round the corner, Russian Panda finds Doingster, who did leap earlier, so no sucker available. Has to feather step. Great shield, great cataclysm. But Bizico comes back with a beautiful snipe.
That was really nice on both sides, wasn't it? I mean, crossing beam there in that spot in the jungle. Yada makes a good snipe. Bizico has a good snipe, but Doingster, that turnaround kill onto Pure Might. Clutch Geb shield from Weave really to make sure that happens.
And the Cataclysm to follow it up too, just to make sure they stayed in place for the follow-up from Bizical to come through. Sorry, from Bizical, who turned it around, I should say, in favor once again of Outlaws. So, 4-2. We are in this game. This is actually really more enjoyable than expected.
It's been fun to watch so far, and you could tell that this is what the Global Series is all about. They get these experience in the league format to play against the top competition in their region, and it definitely improves these teams very, very quickly.
Both the Hunters going for Devourer's Gauntlets. Devourer's Gauntlet rushes as well. Not gone for the boots first of all. This is kind of the standard we see though. Sometimes there's a trade-off. We've seen boots first, but it depends on the matchup. Yeah,
I'm a little surprised that Mingyu doesn't go for boots. I thought Tooney just doesn't use the ultimate, but Mingyu misses the auto.
On a stood-still target.
Yeah, that's rough.
Feels bad. Split push may feel bad now as he gets comboed again, and this is kind of what I'm expecting in that solo lane. Owilix to roam over here, gank the Achilles on cooldown. Sobek's never going to die here, but now Mingyu, he's got no beats, got no ultimate, and now he's going to get ulted himself.
Oh, no.
But the snipe timing from Bizico was just off. They should still get the kill, but they've got to work on that timing and that communication a little bit more there, Outlaws. Communicate what's about to happen.
Yeah, just no reason to rush that if you're Raw. I mean, just wait it out. You know, that should be communicated by Panda. He's got no beads. I'm putting them right at you. And you can just wait it out.
Wait for him to land. Wait for him to land.
Just
that simple.
Patience.
Doingster in mid lane faces Pure Might. Pure Might was ready for it though as he jumps in and gets aggressive with the ultimate.
Ooh.
A little bit late from Doingster.
A little bit late and a little bit, it wasn't facing the right way either. Got to track that leap in order to pull them in with Gravity Surge. Just wasn't facing the right spot.
Bit of tower pressure then on the left-hand side as we saw Bang the Drum. Chuckles did get that solo tower after the recent ganks against Doingster. And you can see they've both got teleport in that solo lane too. That was used by Split Push to get back to the lane, and he still lost the tower.
Yeah, Split Push is really, really far behind now, and to be this far down to a Sobek who's going to out-team fight you so hard in the late game is, as well as this dual lane's been going.
We caught two. Russian Panda gets put in the trap, and that's it. The dog is dead. One kill there. The red buff was taken as well by Bang the Drum. They didn't even secure that, Outlaws. Outlaws on the run, and Bang the Drum chasing on.
Weave knocks away Pure Might just for a little bit of fun, but Chuckles being here is going to be really difficult for Outlaws to deal with. Tooney he's going to have to airstrike away.
He could survive the damage, I think. No?
I don't think
so. You think he'd die there?
Yeah, Lurking in the Waters is a silly ability in the damage scaling that it gets when you full charge it. He's also level 12, keep in mind. That would have done 500 plus 80%. at full charge. No way Toonie had 500 health.
For those at home that don't know about health bars, if you look at Jing Wei, for example, right now, if the cameraman would show it, you can see that each one of those little notches on the health is worth 100, and I think he was probably about 450.
Right.
So I think you're completely right there. Chuckles, though, biting off a little bit more than he can chew, and the Crocodile will take a tumble. 7-4 then, 11 minutes in, and 1 Gold Fury down the way of Bang the Drum.
Not exactly what you're looking for from Chuckles in that spot, to take a death that doesn't mean anything at all, doesn't even get the purple buff invade successfully, but he does have teleport available, so we'll be able to just head on right back to that solo lane when he respawns in about 15 seconds. Not all bad for him in the solo lane, and he'll still have that lead over split push.
In the jungle, Busy Cat was just trying to get himself some harpies, man, and instead he gets himself a trip back to the fountain, and only one of the harpies at best.
Yeah, that's what a Willish can do to you, and that's why I think that this Warlock staff doesn't really matter for him. Like, if you're caught out by a Willis, you're dead. Pretty much no matter what, unless you've got some peel coming.
Do you want to go an early Legion Helm, or do you want to just go for full cooldown like you were talking about?
Yeah, Celestial Legion Helm wouldn't be that bad. I think that it's more so just don't put yourself in the position to get blinked on, and I know that sounds nearly impossible because it is, but you know, the best players in the world, there's a reason they don't die that often to ganks, because they just don't let themselves get blinked on, and it's a hard thing to learn how to play around, but in order to be some of the best in the world, you got to do it.
Doinkster has no ultimate, but I tell you who does. Weave! And that's going to put some pressure on to Outlaws once more. Nice little gank attempt coming out there. I believe the beads were forced by Doinkster in that situation, right?
It was Weave that ended up getting him, but yeah, he got him all right. Russian Panda is going to get got by Doinkster. Easy coming around that back.
Can't be hanging around there trying to farm up when you don't know where targets are around the back. Bang the Drum already had the tier 1 tower, and now with Chuckles coming over from that solo lane, they could look for this tier 1 for free in mid lane. They're actually looking for the red buff, which has just been taken by Toonie.
And Toonie is going to have to get on the run here. Airstrike already used wisely because he was in some serious trouble. Tier 1 goes down with just help from the minions and the solo.
He might actually lose left tower for that as well, Toonie, because Artemis is still pushing up. Ming Yu just going to backdoor it with a couple less minions available. All 3 tier 1 towers down in favor of Bang the Drum.
I'll tell you what, this Willish pick has been the difference in my mind. I mean, Yada's looked great. Everyone from Bang the Drum has looked pretty good outside of the duo lane so far, but it really has been Chuckles and Doinkster together the real unstoppable force for Bang the Drum so far, and both of those two players have 2-level leads over their opposition right now.
So it's about 4,000 gold lead then for Bang the Drum after the Gold Fury in tow. Now, Gold Fury is about to spawn in 2 minutes time, and that's where the attention will be turned again. Pyromancer is available, but it's a nice bit of gold for free on the map if you can find it.
It's kind of fun to see the old Sobek Willish combo. It hasn't been seen for a while. It used to be a big thing, man. Yeah. Eager really did a lot of in the Pro League.
Well, Geb was also part of that combo.
Yep.
It does feel very much like Hughes has been watching past game tape going, why isn't this used anymore? It's still good. Talking about being good, the ball comes out, but Geb's still going to go in. Cataclysm was beautiful, however, and that sets up Russian Panda to end up falling down. Toonie goes for the kill, caught in midair and brought down to earth with a bang of the drum.
I see what you did there. 2 for 0 on the left-hand side for the aptly named team, but Doinkster in a little bit of trouble now. Going to get CC chain. Bizicle doesn't use the snipe. Now he will, but he lets Pure Might fall. Why not just use the snipe when the CC chain is happening?
I love the balls on a Doinkster to just pull in the circuit and then like, yeah, let's go. I'm probably dead here, but maybe I can kill you too. And he did. Split push now, trying to get involved in this game. Currently 0-2 with a 2-level differential against his lane opponent. Chuckles tries to make a rotation, does a damage check and goes, well, this ain't gonna work.
Nope, not at this point. He's so far behind. I mean, barely has any defense at all in that build thus far.
Oh, we've caught out in the jungle here, a little bit too far forward. Bang the Drum with only 2 members around over the wall. The damage from Bizicle did hit, but it only tickled because of the Pestilence we've picked up first.
Very early Pestilence. That's really worried about Bizicle's healing, I suppose. A little bit surprised that it isn't a Heartward Amulet. Yeah, just go for something that'll help your team out at the same time, but hey, gives them a lot of defense.
In fairness to a support, though, it's kind of tricky in that situation because, yeah, you want Heartward, but you can get 1 item before your Thebes.
Right.
Going Pestilence early on, you're not going to go double magical unless you're really worried as a support player. If there's like 3 or 4 magicals, you might.
Right.
But just getting a Heartwood and then a Pestilence to deal with the anti-heal is a bit rough.
Yeah, but this is where the support should say, guys, it shouldn't be me making all the sacrifices here. I mean, where's the... Why doesn't Doinkster just go Brawler's Beatstick instead of Jotuns? You know what
fair.
I mean?
They could just go for more as well. Gold Fury, though, started by Bang the Drum. Reset again as Doinkster was looking for the pull. Didn't manage to find the knock-up on Tooney, though, and Tooney, well aware of his situation in this game, has to be careful with those dashes, as does Pure Might, but that timing was nicely done. Now, the Awilix Gravity Surges on cooldown means that Outlaws could play a little bit more aggressive again.
I don't know if I like this pull, but just that split push is, well, split pushing. On the right-hand side, Sprint Pop blinked in, Weave sets up the kill onto Tooney. Russian Panda blinks in, but too late for himself. Nice snipe, though, from the Ra.
But it's going to cost him his life.
Yeah, of course it will. No good deed goes unpunished.
Pure Might, though, just trying to answer back with something, because meanwhile, Split Push is still trying to do exactly what his name says. The only problem is he was getting beat by Chuckles before that even happened, and now Bang the Drum will get a second Gold Fury.
I mean, that fight was pretty decent overall from Outlaws, with Weave being low and the ultimate being down from Doinkster. I think I would have called Split Push over to say we've got at least a puncher's chance in this team fight. Without him, look, that went fairly well for Outlaws, and that's saying that they lost all 4 members and the Gold Fury for 1 Mingyu. I mean, it's just not enough.
Wasn't enough indeed, and that's just going to extend Bang the Drum's lead a little bit more. Back to base goes Yada then, and his 6,500 experience at 16 minutes in. It's not the worst in the world, but in the SPL, if that was the scoreline right now, you'd be calling it a day.
It'd be a bad spot to be in. A lot, for sure. They would be pretty close to calling it a day.
So what do we need to see from Outlaws then to turn this around this game? I mean, they're not awful in the late game by any stretch of the imagination. Split Push is kind of just going to end up being a frontline tank here, but what do they need to do?
Yeah, about that. I think Tooney is the only one who really has a shot to make big plays in this game. If he can get a couple lucky crits, you know, use those explosive bolts. If he like triple crits Doinkster, kills him, and then a good snipe from Bizical.
Triple crit.
Yeah, that's the point we're at right now, because Doinkster's level 16.
Well, Russian Panda is still level 10 and just getting pulled apart. The knockup's too much to handle. So many sources of knockup as well. Obviously, Sobek, Geb is another easy one that's always going to happen, and Doinkster's got one himself if he requires it, and even if he can hit it.
I mean, Split Push still hasn't backed from that last little engagement. Bizical
we won't
obliterates Casper. Just
you leave him alone. He was making an attempt that just didn't work out. We saw 1 crit from Tooney. It was on Chuckles, though, and Chuckles didn't take too much of a damage. He's still probably laughing about it. He'll be laughing some more now that Tooney got pulled in. If Gravity Surge was up there, that could have been a dead Tooney, or at least forcing the beats.
Yeah, ultimate from Mingyu will put down Pure Might very, very quickly. I'm surprised. I don't like the early Wind Demon here for Tooney. It has a little bit more power on it and that kind of stuff, but a little bit more power on it, but Poison Star passive is just so damn good that's why it's rushed. It's not about the crit chance necessarily, and more about just that passive from Poison Star is so good. Tooney could really use it in boxing up against Doinkster.
Well, Tooney steps up to the wave there just to clear it out once more. Bang the Drum still grouped, still feeling pretty confident about taking the siege on. Pure Might's dead for another 7 seconds. They'll be looking for Chuckles to find a pluck on any target in this game, honestly, and they've got the burst damage to bring them down at this stage.
Split Push here for the first time in these groupings. Maybe you can find a couple executes. There's no sustain on the other side to, you know, put someone out of execute range very quickly. So that is another win condition here for Outlaws. A Split Push can make plays.
Yeah, I could have seen Chuckles go for a med as well to help out against that, but Weave, Blink, Cataclysm's in. Follow-up damage from the Final Judgment is good. The chain of commands is crazy. The ult from Split Push off the mark. Mingyu takes down Pure Might. Chuckles, though, trying to box into the back of Tooney, who's chasing Yada, but has to fall back.
Yada very low, but still has his relics in that spot. Just an overcommit there from Bang the Drum. I mean, they get Pure Might, but lose Doinkster in the process. Certainly not a worthwhile trade.
Now Split Push still going aggressive. Outlaws feel pretty confident about this fight. Chuckles on zone duty and over the wall. Mingyu just picks up the kill onto the Russian Panda. Mingyu may pay with his life as he drops the ball, but it was a little bit too late to do it. Even Tooney, though.
Tooney tanking up a tower shot, still alive, but Chuckles going to try and put an end to that, but he didn't have any cooldowns left, so Mingyu falls in exchange for Russian Panda on the back end of that engagement, and that, again, is in Outlaws' favor.
It's great play from Outlaws. In fairness, they kept the tier 2 tower alive. That's what you're going to really think about there. They defended well. The tower stands. Granted, it's on its last legs, but they traded the difference 2 for 2, and being behind, it's a good window there.
It is, and the way that Bang the Drum is building is awfully greedy in this spot, specifically Yada and Mingyu, neither of whom have like any pen at all. I mean, Yada's got his passive in pen boots, sure. That's not enough, even against an Achilles who's behind or Cerberus who's behind. He really needs penetration. Mingyu likely needs an Executioner in there to try and cut through these and make it a little bit easier for them to find these kills. You just don't need to be like, your base damage will take care of the damage that you need at this point. With the lead that you have, get the penetration so that they never have a chance to frontline against you.
On the same sentence, though, Outlaws, they have a couple of members who have picked up penetration. Tooney's got the Executioner, Spirit Desolation for Bizical. Not only that, the Stoner Binding that Russian Panda's picked up is going to give the whole team more pen during these team fights.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good idea from Russian Panda because he already brings a pseudo pen in the Prot Shred that he gives with Ghastly Breath. You add on to that Stoner Binding, it's really difficult to handle.
Well, back to this mid lane go Bang the Drum as the two of these continue fighting the solo lane over nothing, but the tier 1 tower should surely fall at any moment here. But the pressure from Outlaws just keeping him off the tower for now.
Like, where's the Divine Ruin for Yada in this spot to shut down the healing from Bizical and from Split Push?
I think you're right with overconfidence, to be fair.
Yeah, where's the Brawler's Beat Stick from Doinkster? Just very odd to me that we don't see any of those. Yeah, Hughesy's got to whip these boys into shape on the builds.
He's going to have to bang the drum a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm funny. Gold Fury goes down for the 3rd time then for Bang the Drum as Outlaws stayed grouped to their mid tower expecting a gank. Ward coverage was lackluster from Outlaws there. They couldn't get into the jungle deep enough to keep an eye on the objectives.
Yada got chunked there by just a stray one from Bizical, and that's what Raw brings, man. Those late game Celestial Beams, we're not even close to late game yet, but even the mid game Celestial Beams do so much damage, and it's so easy to just find a couple targets with one of those in the midst of the chaos of a team fight. If you can do that, you don't even need to hit your snipe half the time.
Oh, Doinkster works in the jungle. His speed buff just wore off at the worst possible time. By the looks of it, he gets knocked up into the air. Chuckles around the corner, but Tooney down to half health. He needs to probably recall or heal up off the speed. Bizical now under pressure, and in comes Mingyu with a blink.
Bizical's Aegis buys him a second, but not long enough. Chuckles will get that one. Mingyu, the other, as payment for that blink. Split Push in some trouble, but a good knock-up from Tooney will peel Chuckles off of him. And Chuckles is just the one who feels like he's urging forward Bang the Drum. Like that's a fight that Bang the Drum didn't want to take anymore until Chuckles found that pluck.
I don't know why Pure Might is on the left-hand side of the map right now. Yeah. He was farming up the left-hand side while this was all going on. So his team ended up getting a 4v5 fight. He's not getting any towers during that happening either. And now they lose a Fire Giant. Disappointing.
Yeah, just not the right way to play the map in that spot. I mean, look, Outlaws is down by 1 million.
So they need farm, sure.
Yeah, and with Pure Might there, that doesn't save Bizical's life. That doesn't kill anyone from Bang the Drum most likely. So it feels a little bit odd, but I don't know how much a Circuit contributes in that spot anyways. Specifically one that doesn't have enough damage in the build to really insta-kill a Squishy quite yet.
Definitely some decisions that both these sides need to improve on going forward for sure. Obviously Bang the Drum with the penetration, but they may still win the game out of this. Sometimes you can necessarily do the wrong things or the incorrect things and still get away with it.
We see it all the time. Sure. Even at the Pro League level, there's decisions that aren't quite sound or, wow, an absolute war in that Soul Lane. All those minions, like, they were staggered. That was a weird look for me, but the builds, the decision-making, no one does it perfectly, basically ever. Just something that you can always look to improve on.
Now down the mid lane again, Bang the Drum come a 3rd time.
They'll get it.
Tier 2 tower still standing, but that time it's going to fall. Now with the Fire Giant around the waist, Outlaws not as confident in trying to defend those, although they seem to be happy to defend. They're grouping as 5 again on these defenses, and it may work out well for them.
It could, and Split Push now has a Mantle of Discord. That gives him some extra tankiness. Bizical's got to be close to that Soul Reaver at this point.
Mingyu still hasn't known what pen is yet at the moment as well, which is quite surprising. But he doesn't need pen against someone like Pure Might as he's removed from the map.
Okay, that's, yep.
That's the thing.
Yep.
So what happens? So it's a 4v5. Fire Giant still around. Bang the Drum's waist. All 5 members have it. And onwards we go as a Split Push from Chuckles. We'll get a tier 2 on the right. The rest of the team.
No, Split Push is on the other team.
You're right. Good job.
Thank you.
Best cast into 2 is down. Phoenix is under pressure. Russian Pappy goes in. Russian Pappy is removed. Snipe from Bizcal was good, but Weave's too tanky to be brought down by the level 17 Bizcal. Bizcal has the beads and run away, but Chuckles is there to follow up the gravity surge and the feather step. Mingyu gets a double, looking for a triple, but the regen from the fountain trying to deny that.
Double hit there from the final judgment, but not enough to one-shot either of the squishies. Bang the Drum having a little bit of fun before they should inevitably take this game with 3 members down. Why aren't they just on Titan?
Well, they're not just yet. Tooney's going to try and defend the Phoenix, but this Phoenix won't last too long. Tooney tries to jump away. Feather steps, has to airstrike. In comes Pure Might, who respawned. Gets the ultimate off onto Doinkster, but it's not enough to cause a kill.
But Bang the Drum still haven't won the game.
They've got no minions, though. They've got no minions.
It didn't matter. Their tanks were full HP. You didn't need minions in that spot.
Tooney will survive with the Aegis until the chase on from Yard is there, and the auto will be good enough. Meanwhile, Split Push, trying to Split Push away. He can get a kill, but he can't get the execute on Weave, who wasn't in range anyway. And now he's overextended. Well, he got a little bit of help from the Mantle of Discord, but only for a moment.
Now another time where 3 members dead. Knock up onto Pure Might. Beads a little bit too late. And Yada already has Final Judgment up once more. This time they should be cognizant of their ability to end, right?
Yeah, they should be in a good spot, especially with the middle Phoenix being down and minions pouring in. It's only Bizcal in the fountain. Do you reckon they'll get the kill?
They'll try. If I had to guess, they'll try. No, they won't get it.
If Mingyu had pen, maybe. But now the Titan will fall down 29-8. Game 1, the way of Bang the Drum. And it's back to the drawing board then for the Outlaws in Game 2.
Yeah, Outlaws did some things pretty well in that game. Their early pressure and duo was great. Tooney played well on the Jing Wei. Russian Panda played the laning phase pretty well. But when it came to that team fight, I mean, Chuckles, there was just no answer for this Sobek. Split Push, stayed true to his name, barely was there in those team fights. And when he was there, it really wasn't an impact. That's why I don't like the Achilles pick. If he's going to want to stay in the lane a long time, don't give him a god that you need to be fighting with early.
Or try and pressure that solo lane instead. Although it's a Sobek, kind of a tricky deal. Pick some bans for Game 2 on the way then, and we'll see if Outlaws can answer back to how well Bang the Drum looked at the early stages. Bang the Drum did make a few mistakes, though.
They definitely did, and definitely some things to clean up. I mean, some sloppy engagement, some target calling that probably wasn't exactly right. We already touched on the builds a decent amount. So things that they can definitely improve upon, and things they'll need to improve upon if they want to beat Atletico.
Yeah, and that's the important thing here for Bang the Drum. They've got to keep finding these wins to try and take and keep Atletico on their toes.
Yep.
Circuit banned out by Outlaws this time. They're not going to take it for themselves.
No, I think that's fine. Pure Might didn't have the impact that he really wanted to in that game, and you don't necessarily want to give it over to Doinkster with how good he looked on that Willix. Exactly. Yeah. And a Raijin ban.
Okay, again. See that again. The Honest is still available, though. That might be where they're going.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to bait out, but Bang the Drum end up banning that away. What was the other ban for Bang the Drum last game? Was it Terra, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, and that's exactly where Outlaw is going to go right away. I think this is a good idea. Give you a team fight presence that...
I don't think she's bannable.
Press form. Terra? I think she's good.
Peckable.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, counterban phase, sure, if they needed a support and you're like, oh, this shot is down, but I don't think you need it as a first pick. Artemis and Agni, well, that's a dangerous combination right off the block. Probably 2 of the strongest gods in their role right now.
Lots of CC between the 2 of them. Lots of safety in Agni's case, not so much for Artemis. I like Outlaws taking away the Sobek from Chuckles. He's been a croc main, basically, in the summer split thus far, and clearly you can see why with how well he was able to play it. And there's a Chernobog this time around for Tooney. I like it, but Outlaws did fine in the laning phase in the early parts. It was really their team fights that struggled. Chernobog does great in the laning phase, great in the mid game, but in team fights he can struggle, and I think that might lend itself to Outlaw's weakness already.
Something that Oceania's loved for a long time alongside Europe, but it's pretty good against the comp so far. Terra, Sobek, Chernobog, all with dashes that can't be used during those cripples.
Yeah, I like the Ares pick, and we saw an interaction with Chernobog and Jing Wei that I didn't really think of whenever he was being played in the Pro League, or maybe it was minor league. And Artemis can do the same thing, where when he goes into a wall, you just lay a trap right at his shadow, and no matter what angle he comes out at, he'll get trapped, and then his dash is down. And so that could be something he's got to watch out for, and a great counter pick.
Giannis at threshold as well. Just drop that. Or Ymir wall. Like, there's so many things he can just drop.
Yeah, but he can also wait for the Ymir wall and then, like, go into it himself.
Oh, he could. Yeah. Well, Thor wall as well. You just drop that behind him.
Odin Cage.
So many options of locking down Chernobog.
That god's so cool.
Fear no evils. So 2 beads burners. Actually, there's 4 beads burners on the side of Bang the Drum right now. Poseidon locked in for Outlaws. Pretty solid here. It shuts down a lot of the mobility that Bang the Drum have from Hombats and, of course, Agni. But it also kind of makes it awkward for Ares to find those no escapes.
It does. And then you pick a Nemesis, so you're already incentivized to go sprint against Sobek and Poseidon. Then you pick a god that gets completely hard countered by sprint. There's an argument to be made that maybe if we can force out the sprint with one of those other characters, Nemesis can take advantage. But a Winged Blade is on the table here for Bang the Drum. Plus, Nemesis is a god that gets crushed by Ares if she falls behind. That's a concern for me. Now, Nemesis can also body Ares herself, because if you just hit Divine Judgment when he's up in that ultimate, a lot of times he'll die very quickly. But if you fall behind now as Outlaws, you're in a world of hurt with this draft.
Seems to be they've focused a little bit too much on the Ares in the last couple of picks there, Outlaws. Basically, they're going to go for the Nemesis Divine Judgment, as you said.
Right.
And then the Kraken.
Yeah, but
seems to be the combo, because he sets himself up so nicely for it.
Yeah, but he sets himself up for every mage ultimate. Why not give yourself one that's at least CC him?
No, you're right.
You know, like
I do agree.
The Raw or something like that could work in that spot.
Didn't speak about the Chang'e in the solo lane yet, but I love that pick into a Sobek. Sobek just wants to farm up and play safe, and Chang'e's like, sure, you do that, and I will farm up too. It's going to be hard for them to potentially find a kill in that solo lane with a Nemesis and a Sobek trying to kill a Chang'e.
Oh,
I'm not so sure.
But I think Chuckles made a pretty serious mistake here in his relic choice. No, the skin is fine.
I'm not good at skin.
I actually really like this skin. I haven't played enough with it, but Chang'e has so many good skins. It's really tough to like. I don't play that much Chang'e, so I got to make each one count.
So what I'm trying to do, I want Chang'e to have a reverse skin, where it's a giant bunny that you play, right? That dances around and does the abilities. And then a mini Chang'e that's going to run back to base and pick all the items up.
Oh, there's going to be someone
a shopping basket. You know?
Yeah, but someone's not going to like that. You know, oh, you're going to send the woman back to do the shopping for you. So you're going to get that comment.
What I also want though is an Erlang Shen skin that's in reverse too, where Erlang Shen is the dog.
That would be awesome.
With a pokey spear.
Yeah.
As additional, and the dog just beating you up. See?
That would be a good one.
I'm
all about that one for sure. But no, what I was referring to was this meditation pickup for Chuckles. If he just buys sprint, he is unkillable in this lane. It's just impossible for him to die.
In fairness, though, the meditation should work out pretty well here as well. I mean, you can heal up most of the damage done after the fact, and you've got the immunity in your kit anyway.
Sure, but after you use the immunity, you're still going to be right next to Pure Might because he's got the increased movement speed, and you're slow as hell. You can't really get away. With sprint, I mean, you are just ungankable. We saw this in the Pro League, actually, I believe, yesterday, where Chang'e solo just picks sprint against Nemesis, and it just completely takes away that gank potential.
Mingyu just eating some free basics there from Toonie, and they do add up damage. Nice little root combination coming out too, and that forces the beads out of Mingyu. Once again, Outlaws with pressure in the Juro.
And I love the communication that was clearly there, because without the full combo up there for Toonie, sprint never has kill potential. But because that combo was coming up, he knew that the sprint would get him in range. Good communication there. Their dual lane seems to be working very well together.
But Yada just used his dash, and that means he's going to have to beat out of the Whirlpool. A little bit worried about the aggression that could have come through from Pure Might. Pure Might, though, was getting boxed out by Dunkster. Now Bizkill's a little bit too far forward. Eats a Flame Wave with a beautiful stun, so beads are exchanged in the mid lane. That's really fun to watch. I'm not joking.
And that was a little bit back and forth. Now Pure Might is the one who's got to back it up.
Why can't Ocean look this good on the main stage, man? Like, they actually look pretty decent in their regular season games.
Toonie's in a little bit of trouble here. But again, just like I was talking about the Chang'e, I don't know how Bang the Drum looks at this composition from Outlaws and goes, yeah, no sprint until 12 is cool by me. Like, Weave should absolutely 100% have a sprint here. Blink engagement feels good as Ares, but it is not going to work out every time for you. If Outlaws recognize that there's no sprint, they should put the pedal to the metal in the early game here. Pure Might should just be ulting off cooldown on this Ares and getting free kills.
Well, Dogs did a good job of invading. Didn't get the big harpy, though. Like, if you're going to steal camps away or look to... Obviously, you're scared about being rotated on after the speed.
Yeah.
But take the big one first. If you're going to leave a camp up, leave the babies. They're the ones worth a lot less in terms of golden experience.
Yeah, agreed. But there are opportunities where sometimes you really think someone's going to be coming really quickly. So you get the ones that you know you can get, the minis, and then leave the big one for last. I think that's what happened to Doinkster there. Just got scared off by the audio cues from the speed buff.
You already got to play this carefully without having beads and without the support of his jungler there anymore. But in the Juro lane again, some pressure from Russian Panda, slowing down Mingyu. Toonie was trying to follow up with some extra damage. Did a pretty good job, but we've answered back with a bit of flesh ripping of his own.
Man, Split Push has just been getting bullied in this lane all day, no matter what the picks seem to be. And that's why this Sobek pick he's got to come to these team fights earlier than he did in the last game.
So, we've already discussed Erlang Shen and Chang'e versions, right?
Yes. Yeah. Lay it on me.
Plenty more. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You play a Kraken, right? And
Okay,
you
hold
summon
on.
Poseidon.
Okay. How in the world is a Kraken going to hold a trident?
He doesn't need to hold a trident.
Of course he does. His second ability is him using the trident.
The Kraken uses 3 of his arms to become a trident of its own. Done. Genius. Sorted.
Yeah, that would have been great if the tier 5 skin had gone Poseidon's way.
Okay, next up. Try this again.
Yeah, okay.
Kuzumbo.
I already know where this one's going.
Nene
I'm all
Kappa.
in. Yep,
Nene
I'm all in.
Kappa is Kuzumbo. Kuzumbo
Absolutely.
is... So,
Yep.
the Nene Kappa throws Kuzumbo out.
Yep.
It's genius.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. But more importantly,
But
do you have...
wait.
Okay, yeah,
I'm gonna evolve this a little
Sure.
bit more on that Kuzumbo one, right?
Okay.
So you play the Nene Kappa, you throw out Kuzumbo, but when you throw out Kuzumbo, you become Kuzumbo for his life duration. And you can use all Kuzumbo's abilities
What?
as well.
No,
Yeah.
that's not a skin idea. That's a
It's a buff as well, yeah.
That's not a buff. That's it's like a complete
To be fair,
change.
if we don't look at it as a skin and just think about, imagine if when Kuzumbo throws a Nene Kappa out, you can control the Nene Kappa, that'd be amazing.
With what?
Huh?
What
You control him.
Okay,
you
so
take
what happened?
over that.
So you just stand. So Kuzumbo just stands there.
You're like a medium bot. To be fair, Kuzumbo players are like medium bots anyway, so it's
that's
about the same level of play.
Okay, let's come back to reality for
okay.
a second here. What do you got for those?
Reverse Amuzan production just said reverse Amuzan carbon. I'm
that's
down.
really-
Using
just a swarm of
bees roaming around and summoning AMCs to the rescue.
That'd be really good. Okay,
The bee god appears to kill you all.
That'd be really fun. It's like just a swarm of bees
Yeah.
coming at you in the lane. That'd be really funny. What do you got for the 4 guardians that are left over for the tier 5 Odyssey?
Oh, who do I want to win? Or?
No, like what are your skin ideas for some of those so that you can like maybe swing the vote in your favor?
Okay, Ares, you are a walking shield.
Okay, that was horrible. Like,
That was off the top of it.
You literally just ruined Ares winning the tier 5 vote.
I didn't really care if he won it anyway. He's got enough skins.
Ares, yeah, but I mean, Ares skins are like okay, but he
I'm
can do
kinda
a
sold on
cool
Ares
T5
skin.
one.
The only one I'm not sold on, I can kind of see Mike's point of view is Ganesha, but I kind of want Ganesha to win because then Mike gets memed for complaining about it all the time.
Oh, Mike will be really mad, like really, really mad, and that I just can't do that to my boy. I gotta vote against Ganesh. I haven't voted for him once.
I want to see Ganesh like a Barbar skin for Ganesh. That's what I'm after. But he evolves and grows up as he levels up.
What did you say?
A Barbar.
I thought you said a barber, and it actually.
barber.
But imagine a barber Ganesh skin.
Why would
Hold
he
on.
cut hair? Oh, he's got 4 hands. He's big quick.
Yeah, exactly. And the
Kali.
ultimate would be the 4 like the barbershop like spinny things.
That's true.
That would be cool.
That could work. God, we should be in skin design. Look
I
at
know,
us.
dude. That'd be tight.
Any of you guys listening in today want any of these skins to happen? Get on Reddit. That's where all the information always comes from skins.
Hey, First
Trust
Blood.
me. But First Blood finally happened in the jungle. Over comes Tooney. However, trying to find himself a bit of an anti-kill. Oh, counter-gank, as I should say.
Yeah.
Didn't find it, though. Chuckle's still chuckling along in this solo lane.
Yada locked himself in place for that half a second with that bomb fire, and that's a really good recognition from Bizikal to know that that's an opportunity to Whirlpool Kraken for free.
Good pluck again, but just out of tower range there. You did get to see a little bit of the combination that Outlaws are looking for, though. Nemesis all into Poseidon, Kraken. GG, well played, everybody.
Every time.
If I'm Yada, though, by the way, I'd kind of consider going for Aegis at the start of this game. I'm not going to lie.
I definitely would have.
I would rather have gone Aegis against the Poseidon, not
100%.
worry as much about the burst, because once the burst is down, it's over.
Yep.
And then bead secondary.
Yep, I would 100% would have got Aegis in this spot just because of that exact reason. I mean, getting locked in a Whirlpool and being unable to dash does feel bad, but by the time Poseidon gets Gem of Isolation, you probably have hit 12 by then.
Oh, the meditation came through. I thought, what is Chuckles doing roaming around? But the med was huge for him there. You talked about the med. Well, it may save his life, but it won't get him kills.
Goodbye.
No escape. A split push. He'll split push his way back to the fountain. The blue buff was secured by Outlaws, but Bang the Drum found themselves 2 kills.
Definitely one of the moments where as a solo laner you go, why is the support here before 8 minutes?
Tusky. You play as Tusky and you summon Artemis. All the reversals of anyone with pets should just be reversed. I still think the Chang'e one's the best. I'd love to play the bunny. A dancing bunny that summons a Chang'e.
That would be really good. I think the Erlang Shen one is your best idea.
I think it is pretty good too.
And also like the least potentially offensive. Not that I think it's offensive, but I think someone would think that, you know?
That's fair. I can see that.
I'm not all about that. Though Production's idea of the Bees AMC skin, that's a plus.
That does sound pretty good too. I'm just thinking that the Erlang Shen skins some more, and the dog's just saying to the Erlang Shen, he's a good boy. You know, every time he's doing stuff in the fight.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Why? It should definitely be like, what if it was just 2 dogs instead? You just double down on the dogs.
No, it's too much then.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Too many dogs?
We've already got 3-headed one in the game too. Bomb's running down from Yada, but ultimate pop from Russian Panda. Kraken came out there, but didn't do a whole lot of anything. Meanwhile, Doinkster is going to try and collapse on the Kraken killer, and the monkey bounce to the best spot in the world. Doinkster gets 2, could have been a 3, but Yada will just flame wave away.
Man, Doinkster treats that little monkey in his pocket pretty well, doesn't he? Because I've seen monkey bounces that do not go anywhere close to that far. And he gets a beautiful double because of it. That was really, really well played by Doinkster. And rather, you know, I don't know that Pure Might was ready for that teleport to really happen, but great opportunity.
Good poke from Tooney there, but Tooney's going to have to ult in response
Man mode.
I would have preferred to see the beats. I think I would have preferred to see the beats. He's going to have to jump out. He should know the chop's down. He's going to go in. Into the wall.
Whoa.
Where did he go? Nobody knows. Yeah, they do. The bomb came down.
Yeah, okay.
I like the play. I like the play.
I don't hate it.
He couldn't land in place because of the cripple on the ground. I mean, actually, no. Tell a lie. He had beads up. He should have landed down, got hit by the cripple, beads walled straight away, right? But did he have the time?
Or I think what I would have done, which would have never worked out, would have been ult up, straight back down to get my cooldowns back, root the Artemis again and kill her. That would have been my game plan. I would have certainly gotten trapped and crit right in the brain upon landing and immediately died. At least in that situation, he forces Fear No Evil.
That's true. He would have worked out. Tier 1 tower on the right side goes down for split push. I've got an issue now because all I'm thinking about is gods with like pets or deployables. You play as Vulcan turret and summon Vulcan.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
What about how are we going to handle Loki decoy?
No, I'll leave Loki alone. He got a fat Loki skin. He don't need more skin.
Ooh, you're a cat and you deploy 3 Bastets. 3 little mini Bastets.
Only if it's the Kawaii skin for more Kawaii nonsense. Ares finding out what it's like to get hit by the Kraken, but he still survives because he's tanky enough.
That wall.
He has set up his team pretty nicely though, but as you said, the wall helped out. But Mizcal didn't notice the rotation from El Chuckles, and that's a 1-for-1 exchange support for mid.
Russian Panda just makes that whole kill happen. We've ate a Nem ult and a Kraken all at once and was going to live until Russian Panda had a great wall to stop him from going into mid.
Walls come down, but Fear No Evil will be answered back. Didn't find split push, who used the lurk in the waters at the right time. All the while, this little pressure on the right-hand side is going on. Yada's going to take a tier 1 tower down in the mid lane. Bang the drums, gold lead extends further.
Oh, split push going for the Warlock staff as a solo lane guardian, and I gotta say, heavily against this idea out of the solo lane. It's much better to just get your cheap protection items, just with like cooldown boots and Voidstone, you are tanky enough and deal enough damage in the early game. You don't need to worry about all that.
Oh, Tooney's going to go for this one. I love this play. Ming Yu's board didn't want to get involved at all. Got to watch out for that trap on the ground, though. He's trying to take the boxing fight, but he just can't find the autos.
Did he not have enough mana? I don't think he had enough mana to use Vicious Barrage, the 2, to detonate that crystal.
Weave's on the way around as well, has Blink available. Russian Panda was trying to block him off, but a nice bead's coming out. Second chain's missing, and the laugh spell will begin in the jungle, though Doinkster finds Bizcal again, who's just trying to make these rotations to support, and every single time being left exposed. Yada could clean this up.
That was a really nice tidal surge. Yada is in some trouble himself, though. It dashes right towards split push. Beads well-timed to get him out of that pluck.
But now split push in trouble. He doesn't have your lurking in the waters available just yet. Overhand smash connects again. No tier 1 tower. The sustain though from Russian Panda will detract for a second. 7-2. 1 gold Fury down.
Man, a lot of close escapes there on each side, but no ultimately no deaths. A lot of relics used in that little exchange. But split push has been more involved in 12 minutes of this game than he was in the entirety of game 1, and he's made an impact so far. That being said, it makes this Warlock staff pickup even worse, because if he would have built this way in game 1, obviously on a warrior you can't do that, but this is the sort of way that you would expect him to play in game 1 with this sort of build where he just AFKs in lane and gets his stacks. By rotating, he's helping his team, but he's hurting himself with this build.
Oh, under the tower, split push was just trying to farm up and recall to base, but the Fear No Evil was good. He jumps back out, 3 chains, and that's going to be the end of that. Weave brings him down. Good combo from Bang the Drum there.
Pure Might locked in. Beads are up in 4 seconds. That's not in time. Mingyu uses beads of his own to get away
knockback.
from Bizical's Kraken.
Big knockback there, because I think Bizcal would have been in a lot more trouble there. Tier 1 tower goes down for Bang the Drum on the right-hand side. And now they can move on towards the Tier 2. Ming, you're going to lead the charge in, all 5 groups against only 3 members. Left-hand side, though, Tooney's going to split push for a Tier 2 tower, so this could be an exchange.
No, split push is dead.
Yep, he is.
Tier 2 tower will go down for Bang the Drum. I don't know that Tooney's going to be able to guarantee his.
Got a good one.
Oh, yeah, lay it on me.
You ready?
Yeah.
You play the Manticore, right?
Whoa, okay.
No, not Manticore. You play the Nemean Lion.
Wow, yeah, that's still not...
You play the Nemean Lion, and you throw Hercules at people. You get Hercules' abilities, but you throw Hercules.
Okay, I don't think you
How
understand...
cool would that be, seeing Hercules be thrown through the air killing people? I'm down.
Wait, but he doesn't throw the Nemean Lion anyways. He just wears it. Wouldn't it be the Nemean Lion wearing Hercules throwing a boulder still?
I guess you're right, but I don't think a Nemean Lion would throw a boulder. He'd throw Hercules.
It would?
Yeah.
Where would it get Hercules from?
I mean, technically the Nemean Lion's dead anyway, because Hercules killed it, so...
Okay, but like, in order to make a skin, right? Let me give you a little behind the scenes look. Hold on. Weave is gonna kill a couple people here.
No, he won't. 2 beads, and that's all she wrote. But now
Cool.
those beads not available for for defense against Doinkster now here today. The FNE Weaver's gonna be available for him if he needs it.
Okay, so here's how the skins. You need to still use the same character model,
Okay.
or it's got to be like a tier 5, right? Like or something of that
It
nature,
evolves.
right?
Okay. So a tier 5 Herc skin would have been good.
Where he's just the Nemean Lion.
No, he evolves. He becomes a Nemean Lion.
Why would he?
I don't know. I'm on my morning SGS cruise at the moment. Yes,
but
cruise was the word choice there, the right one. Chuckles on a cruise through the jungle right now. Pure might be on a cruise back to base as a Kraken comes out on Mingyu.
Ooh, nice.
And Mingyu taken out.
Man, Mingyu going blink in this game. I don't know about that one, buddy. Here comes the Fear No Evil, though, from Doinkster. Not quite enough damage yet. The 2 tanks, a little bit too tanky at this point.
Split push under pressure now, trying to split push back towards his half of the map to safety. However, the monkey toss has put Bizcal in trouble. Great knockback, but there's the damage from Yada. And a stun to get the follow-up of 2 kills for the way of Bang the Drum yet again.
That was hot from both Doinkster and from Yada. They're working together beautifully there. The blink monkey toss to get towards the Poseidon. No Aegis used there by Bizcal. Wouldn't have saved his life either way. Good decision to hold on to it. But yeah, Mingyu going for Blink instead of Aegis in this game against the Poseidon is could be a problem for him moving forward.
Pure Might under a bit of pressure thanks to those chains. Yada takes away the speed. Both as the rest of the team was slowly poking down this tier 2 tower, mainly looking for kills more than anything else, but they will run out of minions soon. This tier 2 will fall down as the 3 remaining members around here can really only stand and watch. Bizcal and Split Push respawn though. And we'll see what they can do around the Fire Giant, which I think is where Bang the Drum might start heading.
I mean, they only have one other objective to take at this point, and that's a tier 2 tower in the left lane. Pyromancer will be up soon, so they might just get their own buffs and wait around for Pyromancer to come up and try and force a fight there, but their lead is even bigger at this point than it was in the last game.
Oh, Pure Might steps in a trap.
I don't
have anything to say with him.
Nah,
Steps in a trap.
yeah.
I mean, he disappeared too quick.
Every time I see myself or a teammate step in a trap, I VGS, it's a trap.
Yep.
Every time. I think that's the funniest thing on earth.
It used to be.
Nah, it still is.
But then things happened in Star Wars that hurt a little bit.
Oh, no.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. How old is that movie at this point?
Well...
What movie was that scene in? I don't even remember.
Oh, that scene?
Yeah.
That was in one of the early movies. One of the very early movies. But
So it's like 30 years old.
sure, but I'm talking about spoilers about other stuff. I guess you didn't get the reference, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm there now.
now you're there. God,
Yeah.
you're slow. This is what I have to work with, chat. This is what I got to deal with whenever I'm trying to cast. People who are slow.
you
Talking
poor
about being
baby.
slow, Russian Panda slowed down by the chains.
No, he was crippled.
Well, he's also slowed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fire Giant did get reset, but now Bang the Drum can go back to it another time, looking to bring it down as Bizcal getting pressured by Doinkster. Doinkster keeping 2 members of this team busy, but Split Push on the way.
Get in there, Tooney. Get in there, Tooney. Yeah, there you go, Tooney. They got a kill in the mid lane. I'm just trying to get it in Outlaw's favor. You know, they need a little bit of help.
Chinnabug OP, 420 hit damage. Well, 4,270 damage. And the Oracles will go the way of Outlaws as the Fire Giant goes the way of Bang the Drum. There's not been much to talk about this game other than just how Bang the Drum have just slowly controlled it, just like game 1.
Yeah, they really have, and their team composition works really well at doing that because, as you mentioned during picks and bans, beads burners. You can't. You can only have one set of beads. Surprised we haven't seen a Magi's Cloak come out from anyone quite yet. It looks like Pure might be working towards that, and I think that would be a wise idea for him.
13-4 then, with the Fire Giant and only one tier 2 tower left remaining. Bang the Drum can start turning attention towards these Phoenixes. Yada had a feeling that they were doing the red buff, and I think they may have just started it, but it got reset. Now Tooney's here. They'll pick it up before Yada can stop that happening. Yada, level 15 to the level 14 from Bizzical.
Now, the left side Phoenix for Bang the Drum is exposed here because of Tooney's split push earlier on, and maybe the Outlaws can just commit to going for that left side Phoenix and at least opening up the map for themselves at this point, because even the 5-on-5 groupings are not going to favor them.
Do you reckon it's offensive to call yourself split push and then not split push? Doesn't that like kind of detract from what your whole idea is?
It's better than name yourself jungler and not jungler.
Here we go. Yada's going to get pressured out by Pure Might as the ultimate was used there. Aegis absorbs a lot of damage from Bizzical. The Kraken hits Mingyu, but not a whole lot of damage really came through. No escape will pull in Bizzical, but no it won't. He dies off the chain pull, and Chuckle's going to continue the chase onto Russian Panda. Meanwhile, Pure Might went all the way back down for Yada, couldn't find him. And now the tier 2 tower will fall. Phoenix exposed, only 2 members left alive.
Now a lot of relics down on the side of Bang the Drum, but Doinkster's here and he's got blink beads and ult. And Pure Might has no beads. Wow, I'm very surprised that Doinkster didn't just teleport and drop the ult there. That could have been a kill for sure.
Yeah, this Phoenix is about to fall momentarily. Doinkster doing most of the donkey work there to bring that down alongside Mingyu. Head towards the mid lane. Once again, very similar to game 1 so far with how they're taking down the Phoenixes.
We've just off the mark there with a chain. Good idea. Of course, that chain can go through walls, but couldn't quite find Pure Might, whose beads will be up pretty soon, so we'll be significantly safer.
Bit of a difference in Bang the Drum this time, where they did build some penetration, at least Yada did. Yeah. A little bit of anti-heal there. Don't really think you need too much anti-heal against this comp, but
yeah,
you know.
I don't. The Terra, I guess, is what you're really building the anti-heal for.
Plug from split push catches Chuckles, but Chuckles up, down, round and round. Fear no evil hits 4 members. And the Phoenix is about to fall on the right-hand side as the last 3 players of Outlaws look around to see if they can get any help. Those chains may kill him. He'll get back to the fountain in time.
Just in time, but right side Phoenix will fall very quickly. Minions not really here yet for Bang the Drum, so I don't know if they can really realistically... This is the end call they're going for instead of the earlier one in game 1?
All right. Yeah, it seems to be the case. They're starting to group up again. No, only ultimate available really is Yada's and Mingyu, so that ball could cause some problems. 1 bead's available for Bizzical to try and survive this, but the focus is on the Titan. Kraken available and maybe looked at towards Mingyu, but Mingyu takes him out as a Kraken spawns, and the Titan will fall, and Bang the Drum will bang on the Titan for the final time today, getting themselves the 2-0 victory.
And like I said at the beginning of this is exactly what Bang the Drum needed if they want to try and keep pace with Atletico and have a chance to come to land, because Atletico's undefeated so far. That, of course, that includes beating Bang the Drum.
Well, that's it for what we've got for you on SMITE Global Series today. We should be able to take a look at the standings, however, and see exactly how this measures things up going into the final week.
So Atletico sitting at 5-0. Bang the Drum, I assume they're playing next week based on the fact they've only played once. That would mean that Bang the Drum, if they could find a 2-0 victory, would force a tiebreaker scenario there, because they'd be even in head-to-head. They'd be even in plus-minus. I don't know what the next one is. Maybe like collective worshippers.
Spicy then over in the SMITE Global Series of Oceania. But that's all we've got time for today for Oceania. Next up, momentarily, we're going to be bringing you the minor league action. It's all Europe all day today, so make sure you tune in for that momentarily. And then following that later on this afternoon, SPL at 3 p.m, where we got some lovely games for you.
It'll be fun. Be there.
With that, we'll be back in about, let's say, 5 minutes. Good morning and welcome back to the SMITE Minor League. Today is all about Europe. Myself and Agro will be bringing you all the excitement from the desk of breaking down the picks and bans for today and having a look back at how the games go. To start things off, Agro, I guess we should look at the schedule of what we get to see.
Yeah, but today it's going to be Poppies versus Fear No Evil. Fear No Evil has kind of been on the up and up as of late. There's a team that has a lot of upside, I think. Not quite ready to take on the Insignums of the world and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, excited to see. Yeah, exactly. No one in Europe right now, it feels like.
And the Poppies, one of the most experienced teams, been in the SPL before. We've made the main major roster. Most of them Spanish-speaking and always have been. So look at the standings, though, to see how this one breaks down between Poppies and Fear No Evil today. And you can see they're both sat around the same sort of position now, 2 and 4 respectively.
Yeah, they're locked up in that 4th and 5th tie, but I think that the Poppies have kind of lost a little bit of momentum during the summer split. I think that they expected a little bit more of themselves coming into this summer split.
Sure.
Fear No Evil, a team that came in with really no expectations. I think that they are one that to look at moving forward as a team that still has a lot of room to improve. Not that the Poppies don't by any stretch, but as you mentioned, the Poppies have been around the block a couple times. For them to be 2 and 4 at this point is a little bit disappointing for them.
Let's get into picks and bans and find out exactly how this one breaks down between the two. How well will Poppies perform here today? They're the ones that a lot of people will be looking at going, expectations should be there to win this one.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Like, the Poppies have that experience at this point. Whereas Fear No Evil, you know, I'm looking at Glory in the jungle. I believe Lucas is their mid laner. These are guys that are a little bit newer to this level of competitive play and have shown signs of having a real knack for playing at this level. It just takes some time to really develop the team synergy and even the personal skill to keep having success at this level.
Athena and Artemis banned away so far. Artemis and Athena, both of them, you know, they've been around the block for a while, been first pick considerably, as is Giannis, and that seems to be where the focus is just ones that a lot of teams like to first pick.
Yes, and for good reason. I mean, Artemis, I think, has that just ability to instantly win a lane for herself with a crit here or there that the enemy team isn't really ready for. Plus, the long duration CC immunity on the ultimate gives her a lot more safety than I think a lot of people realize.
Interesting choices from everybody here. I mean, obviously, the Ratatoska band's got me going question mark. Discordia first pick also has me kind of question mark when you could have kind of left it out. Not many teams really prioritize it.
Yeah, I mean, Ratatoska is really heavily prioritized in the European minor league. A lot of players just seem to really mesh with this character, and I think Rat is a decent throwaway ban, the one that can really impact the game at an early stage. The Discordia first pick, I'm with you, though. I mean, this is a pick that, is Discordia good? Absolutely. Is she first pick good? Absolutely not, in my mind. You just get, there are so many mid laners on the table there. Thoth, Ra, Raijin is still very good. Poseidon can be played. Like, there are so many picks that you could have gone for later on in the draft.
Well, Chinaba going to get locked in here by Pappy, so he gets some minor league play on the big screen. Although I'm interested by the Raven pick. What happened to Raven? Why is he falling from grace?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that people have just kind of forgotten about him. I think that he's still really, really good.
His itemization solid too.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a little bit more Raven. It's kind of the ebb and flow, right? It just happens.
It could be he's been slept on in the SPL, for example, so he can be brought out again at LAN maybe. That could be a potential thing.
Yeah,
that happens sometimes. Sobek and Ra taken away, so surprised by the Ra ban by Pappies there, considering they already had the circuit for themselves. They could have like not had to worry so much.
Yeah, but Ra has that out of combat healing. It's more about the combat healing for characters like Chang'e, for even Hell, for Guan Yu especially. Out of combat is where Ra really shines, and Circuit's last breath isn't going to help you there.
This is going to be a tough, right? Oh no, it'd be a Zhong Kui locked in. Now that could still be a solo lane Zhong Kui right now. Not necessarily mid, because Cerberus can be the support rather than jungle is how I'm looking at this.
Yep.
So Pappy's then there needing a solo of their own and a support, and that Terra could go either, more than likely support.
More than likely support. We see a lot less solo Terra these days without the global ultimate, so this should be a solo laner, and I think Ymir actually is pretty good here against his composition so far. Walls off Zhong Kui, walls off the Rom, Robin has to use the ultimate. I think this Ymir pick could work out, but I say it every time these days with Ymir. Ymir either means that you are going to blow out your opposition or you are going to get blown out. When was the last time you saw a close game with a Ymir? It just doesn't happen.
Zhong mid into Discordia.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that, because obviously Zhong's going to walk up to the wave.
I love it.
Discordia can get so much free poke off that,
yeah,
right?
but he gets so much good sustain, and then it's really easy to predict where she is, whatever, right after she leaps. And as soon as that leap is very short, you know, short length, you can immediately just pop ultimate and just start going to town.
I also guess you don't have to worry so much about getting the stacks as easy for Zhonghui either, right? It's
You get so tanky, so fast. Zhonghui is this is going to be the Zhonghui winter right now. That's
really
that's the way it feels.
Well,
he is really good.
So can ignore some of that with protection shred and also, you know.
Sure, the percent damage and all that kind of stuff does feel good, but also he's got a 2.2 second stun if he's got his card on you.
Oh, I know.
So,
yeah, it's a little bit of a longer stun now. Who are you feeling game 1?
I like Fear No Evil's draft a lot. Ymir just makes me nervous, man. It's going to be a blowout one way or the other is my prediction.
Well, let's get it over to the casters. It's John Finch and F. Dot.
Thank you, Hindu. Thank you, Aggro. Finch and Tom going to be bringing you the cast, SMLEU. Let's see exactly what is going to take place here. You got any big predictions just based on what we see from these picks and bans already?
Not particularly. Kind of like what Aggro said, I think it's going to be a kind of a knockout in either direction. Zhonghui has been very, very powerful.
Hasn't he, though? Yeah.
And Ymir in general, I mean, Ymir is a great selection. I think he's one of the better gods in the game. How do you feel about that, John Finch?
I have no strong feelings about this, and I won't validate this, and I won't go along with it. And I will talk, though, about Lucas playing this Zhonghui in the mid lane. I'll ignore the Ymir, in fact.
Yeah, no, so I like the Zhonghui in the middle lane. He is definitely an adept solo laner because of the built-in protections that he gets via his passive, but certainly, you want to build him power and just punch people in the dome? Absolutely. Exorcism and the stun, which actually does more damage than Exorcism, is they really pack a punch when you're able to sit there and just build power.
They absolutely do, and Lucas probably won't have to sacrifice too much of that tankiness. Zhonghui still feels like you can't kill him in the mid lane, especially if he's able to get ahead a little bit over Creed. So we'll see what kind of attention that they end up trying to pay towards this mid lane Glory on the Robin, which you haven't seen as much of lately. Certainly can have an impact on how this goes if he chooses to hang out there.
Creed making the transition to the mid lane, been here for a little bit, but really more known as a solo laner. I've really been watching this guy with close eyes to see how his transition goes. I mean, will he be a Baskin or will he be a Met Yankee? That's the big question.
We all know just how well Baskin was able to make the transition. Can he live up to that hype? As Moex and TA50 seem to have already gotten the lane pressure. They're level 2. They're heading back towards their own purple camp and kind of leaving Draco Marina and Warchi to farm. A nice strife into the Cobra's Kiss, gets some good poke in mid, but it's about all that comes from.
Moex known for his prowess in the hunter role. I mean, years back, I mean, he was one of the go-to carries in Europe for a while. Adonis's favorite, notoriously. But years have passed, and he's got to rise again from the minor league.
Lucas had to use the purification beads there in the mid lane. The pressure from the Circuit and Discordia in the mid lane proving a little bit too much for Glory and Lucas to handle, and beads end up having to be expended at the cost now. Because Zhonghui and his kid, he's going to be able to heal some of that back up, but you can't heal that cooldown. He's going to be a little bit more vulnerable without those beads for another 140 seconds.
Yeah, Zhonghui's job right now, especially versus the enemy mage, is just sit under the tower and get some farm in. Really not concerned about playing too over-aggressive. It's actually very interesting. As Zhonghui level 1 and 2, you're very devastating. You actually can fight into whatever aggression is going to come your way and usually surprise the opposition. But once you hit that level 3, level 4, level 5, you're not the top dog in lane until you really maximize that exorcism. So now that we've seen that brief window of opportunity gone, really I want to see Lucas play kind of on his back foot, heal under the tower, and then look to be aggressive a little bit later.
He'll have that opportunity with Glory, especially in the jungle form, who's elected to go the Blink to get started. We see this in a lot of our junglers, and I like to have that discussion about how you got to be careful with the beads, but Robin doesn't have that problem, but Moex does have problems. Wall collapses, beads have to come out. Sprint's been used as well by TA50, so Moex on his way out.
Yeah, that was a really nice clap coming out from Draco Marino, who continues to impress year after year.
Moex now in a little bit more trouble, though. Some damage comes in over the top. Draco Marino and Morty can't follow up. The pull does land, but Draco is this Terra. He should be fine.
More importantly, though, he was pulled into his own lane minions, right? There's a full wave here for Warchi and the Poppies. So Draco gets pulled into 2 archers and the duo lane. Not that big of a concern. Fear No Evil have to back off.
Worst Turtle going aggressive into Lucas, who's trapped without very much mana, so now he could be in a little bit of trouble. Glory instead goes towards Creed, and that means Lucas is able to fall. Glory now has to try and get away from this apple of discord. First blood going over to the Poppies.
Big interaction there, and the Poppies successfully pull off the Circuit play. No heal from the Exorcism because of the last breath poison on him. Lucas right there probably wins that fight if it's virtually any other assassin. because the healing is going to be shut down there from Worst Turtle, Lucas unable to really heal up after the exorcism falls right on over. That's going to be trouble. Lucas has to be careful of this Circuit.
Well, to be fair, I don't know how much more careful you can be than being in your own back Harpies. That's basically where he was. It's Worst Turtle who's recognizing, as you said, the ultimate interaction that he can go aggressive onto Lucas that far back, and he's able to find the kill. I mean, really not much that Zhonghui could do, even once Glory showed up, because he goes on to Creed instead of trying to help peel Worst Turtle, and they're both attacking the mid lane mage. Worst Turtle able to get the whole kit off and take down Lucas, no problem.
Creed also a big part of that, making sure to use the crowd control off of the ultimate coming out from Worst Turtle. Without that double team, I think we might have seen Lucas kind of limp on out of that engagement, but because it was Worst Turtle right into Creed, yeah, homie, you're not getting out of that one.
No, that was rough business for Lucas on this Zhonghui in the middle lane. And that is one way, that you can kind of keep this Zhonghui from getting to the point where he's that monster, is, you just kind of kill him all the time. And Worst Turtle has at least done that first step.
I usually love Warlock staff first and foremost. I think those stacks are very important.
Yes.
You don't really have a full item for your money's worth until you get those stacks online. But here going the beads first.
Well, already there's some trouble for T850. Worst Turtle is going to blink in. Cobra's Kiss brings Moex and T850 back, and they go for the Hunter instead, trusting Warchi to find the auto attacks. And he does. That's 2 kills in the duo lane.
Really, really nice gank there coming out from the Poppies. Big commitment from Worst Turtle. Also, Creed. Warchi going to use the ultimate to go and find Lucas, who made the rotation halfway through. Cobra's Kiss will be available, but Worst Turtle won't use it. And just the Poppies making a really nice rotation to the left-hand side.
Worst Turtle really played that one well, too. I love that target switch that he takes onto Moex to make sure they grab the Hunter, and then, as I was saying, they trust that they can find those auto attacks to take down the larger T850 on the back end.
Yeah, you can look at that play and say, why didn't he toss the target towards Warchi right there and say clearly the poison was going to spread? But on the off chance that you don't actually get that kill, right? That's kind of a bummer. So pushing him in the opposite direction, ensuring the single kill, kind of taking a gamble on the double kill, but Warchi able to come through in the clutch and make that one happen. I like the conservative play coming out from Worst Turtle this early on. But now Finch, they're 1,500 gold up. As this lead amasses, I like that conservative play now. Right. Once this 1,500 turns into a 2 or a 3,000 lead, I want to see Worst Turtle really just get in people's faces.
Hopefully we'll get to see that from Worst Turtle as this moves on. We did see over in the solo lane, as I begrudgingly acknowledge, a nice interaction there for Amir up against the Cerberus.
Oh, yeah.
It is one more way that he can interrupt the Ghastly Breath with that Frost Breath that he has himself. Whose breath is the hottest? Whose breath is the better breath? I don't know.
I don't know. Amir looks like he's coming out of a Mentos commercial and Floors needs something inside of him.
That's right. It's like one of those, like when they're in the taxi cab and the guy and girl both get in the same cab and they take the mint so that they can, like, kiss, I guess, and then like Amir is like that, right? He took like a really good mint.
And then we see the middle lane, the mid laner Lucas falling down like the guy without the mint.
Right, yeah.
Getting shoved out of the cab.
Yeah, right. He doesn't get the girl or guy or whatever it is he likes. I don't know his life.
Right now, Creed doesn't really like anything. Glory jumping on top of him, sending him back to base the hard way. Or I guess the easy way. No mana. Discordia going back on her own accord, but still not a great look. Fear no evil. A big goose egg, comparatively speaking, to the 4 that the Poppies have gotten in the past couple of minutes.
And it's all in part of exactly what you pointed out, that Worst Turtle has been aggressive this game on this Circuit pick, causing problems in the middle lane yet again for Lucas. We saw him with that gank over in dual lane, getting both the Hunter and the support. So far, Worst Turtle has really been setting the pace for Poppies and setting it well.
And so I started talking about the Warlock staff and how I usually like to see that first item. But in this case with our Zhonghui, I'd rather see the boots come out first. And not because of necessarily Zhonghui, but because of Worst Turtle. That mobility is going to be important early on. Get the hell away from the Circuit, which is already a tall task.
Yes.
A little bit of movement speed certainly will help there.
We'll see how well he'll be able to put that to use, as on the other side, in the mid lane, Creed has that Soul Reaver that he selected. We saw him go into that tier 2, formerly Soul Trap start. That I was curious he was going to go book atop the Soul Reaver, but once he waited, then it seemed like he was definitely going to be going into the Soul Reaver. So that's going to give him a lot of extra power here in the early game. And they've been putting it to use going up against, pairing with Worst Turtle.
The first item, Soul Reaver, isn't my favorite build, but here's a couple of things to kind of put it in context. Worst Turtle, though, starting his own context. Creed misses the ultimate off of the block.
And now Worst Turtle has to retreat. He is able to make it out of there. Earth and Fury has to come out from Draco Marino. That's a lot they commit when Lucas does have to give up his own purification beads, but that's about it.
that was really just unfortunate. Draco Marino drops the wall looking for the stun, and Creed's apple goes right into it, bouncing off of it like a pinball, and unfortunately does not find the target. That's a nice kill for the Poppies, but they've got a couple of their lead. They can kind of make a mistake or two. So I want to see that cleaned up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I don't really think that's communication or lack thereof. I think that's just how she goes sometimes.
Yeah, and you kind of highlighted there a little bit that maybe they have some wiggle room, and I think you might be right. I mean, consider this Chernobog. How much impact have we seen from him so far? I mean, those rotations can be a real nightmare, no pun intended there, for the rest of the squad. As the shard device comes out, Mecha Black is going to get pulled right back in, but I don't think Glory wants this fight. Instead, that was really just kind of an ultimate from Flurry Z without any follow-up, and now Worst Turtle's in trouble. The double Cobra's Kiss isn't enough. The Wisps kill him.
Able to get on the board, though. Tate gonna pick up one. Here's Warchi versus the World. Draco Marino from behind, but Glory coming out from the right-hand side. Ramshot's gonna hit one. Chernobog hides to the wall. Draco Marino on the run. He's gonna fall. Fear no evil. Lucas coming out on top.
And that's great. Lucas definitely needed the help there that you're gonna get from getting that kill credit as he finds it on the back end. But despite some nice plays there from Worst Turtle, he still ends up falling on the top end. Fear no evil have started to respond from this aggression from Poppies. If they're gonna be in their jungle the whole time, if they're going to be kind of sending in Worst Turtle for these one-man invade, then you got to punish.
Yeah, Mecha Black even with the one-man invade. Very curious to see Glory kind of run away from him.
Yeah.
The level 11 Ymir is scary, but his whole kit was on cooldown. He used the freeze to secure the blue buff and dissuade the opposition from getting too heavy. He goes into the ultimate to sort of push them out of the cove, and then there's no collapse. I thought that was very curious, and I would have liked to see Fear no Evil kind of punish that. I mean, definitely could have fought into that, in my opinion.
And I'm with you on being able to fight into that one. And if the call's not to fight in, then fine. You know, the opportunity's there, but you don't have to take it. But Flurry Z does.
Yeah.
So Glory kind of should then follow up, right, in that situation. And it seemed like they were on different pages. The Stygian Torment went on cooldown. I mean, that's neither here nor there. It'll be back up when he needs it, most likely. Not very far from it now with those cooldown boots. But just curious to see them not perhaps be on the same page as Moex and Warchi trading out. So far in favor of Moex, who rolls in aggressive.
Warchi going to take to the sky. Thinking about it, lands right back down, has that mitigation, but quickly turns back around. Watching these two hunters box, I think that both of them are pretty equipped to really handle the boxing match, but Ram probably a little bit more heavy-handed with that steroid right now.
It's so strong, isn't it? The Warchi have a pretty potent steroid of his own with the two, but it's kind of hard to beat Pick Me Up from Moex as the Ram gets the better of that trade. Warchi, though, does mean that big ultimate's on cooldown. Again, I was sort of alluding to it earlier. We haven't seen that one used to sort of give them big numbers advantages elsewhere on the map. Warchi really hasn't had an opportunity to rotate over just yet, but once he does, things could potentially get worse for Fear no Evil. So it's good they've kind of gotten a couple of kills to try and even this back up a bit.
That's the entire goal of Fear no Evil right now. They're down a little bit, but Worst Turtle looking to push them back even further.
Lucas goes right into the ultimate, but this time the Golden Apple of Discord is on point. Draco Marino gets the last hit, and they take down the Zhonghui in the mid lane. But you can already start to see it's taken a lot to kill this Zhonghui.
And this is only 15 stacks to the Warlock staff. This is where the Poppies need to be making the plays right now, early and often.
TA50 goes into the Wrath of Terra, but there's no one around. A bit in no man's land here as the Sylvanas stun doesn't land. He's under the tier 1 tower. He does survive, and now Glory's here to try and even things out. Mystic Rush doesn't get it done, but the root's strong enough. Finds Creed. Worst Turtle has to retreat.
Glory, another great play. 1-0-1.
Nice.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Just out of range, yeah.
Worst Turtle jumping on out of there.
That was scary, though. I mean, I love Moex rotating in, realizing couldn't quite help with the fight, looking for the snipes. But Fear no Evil, they understand how much was used. Creed is dead right now. They can come over towards this Gold Fury, but they end up dropping it. Once Warchi shows his face, they're able to see some rotations coming out from the mid lane, too. They just fall back.
The ability of... excuse me. The ability for Mecha Black to really rotate over is scary.
Nice
and Warchi's got his own control.
Lucas now stuck on the wrong side of a wall. Mecha Black going to continue to chase him down. Shard Device is being channeled. That's going to help apply the slow. Now Warchi is making the rotation over with the ultimate, and he will take down Lucas.
Yeah, that explosion right there is what's going to help his team sort of control objectives as well. Lucas has a fantastic hit at zoning and will keep people away from certain objectives and certain points in the map. Pops out that ultimate, can't walk in there. But he's not going to be able to confirm the objectives as easily. as some of these other people across the way. Exorcism with a card does do a ton of damage, but Mecha Black's ultimate on top of Warchi's combo and Creed's combo is, you're not going to outburst that.
Chance for the collapse here, though. Good Cobra's Kiss, and Creed bounces the apple right back on the T850. It's just too much damage, though. Glory finds the first kill. They're going to continue looking for Worst Turtle. Wisps are on him. Moex rolls in, finds the shot. Stun comes out from Draco Marino, but this fight's already over.
Really clean. The one shot from Moex, that was exactly what Fear No Evil needed.
Yeah.
Nice just prowess there on the Hunter. Cool to see that. But now, more importantly, Fear No Evil cutting the lead down to 1,000, certainly in striking distance now.
But Moex did have to use the Purification Beads. Once the Poppies are back up, Worst Turtle and Creed could have some opportunities to punish. Beads about to come back up for Lucas, though, who's been under siege the entire game. The game has been going for 14 minutes and 35 seconds, and that's how long Lucas has been under siege.
Yeah, from minute one, he was the first blood, if I'm not mistaken, and from minute one, just Lucas has been kind of stepped on this entire time. But now he's level 12, going to be able to grab that secondary relic, which might be an Aegis or a Shell. Rather not see the sprint. You've already got the sprint on T850, so I really just want to see a defensive relic to allow Lucas to be offensive and make use of those.
Yeah, if they're going to continue to commit onto him, anything that get him out of those ganks is really going to help Fear No Evil. The last time they killed him, Worst Turtle, Creed, Draco Marino all had to use their ultimates, and I mean had to, because it's still this hard to kill a Zhong Kui at this point, as Moex actually might be losing this boxing match, not even going to make it up into the air. Warchi has the shots.
The punishment has been served. Glory under the tower will be safe. But Warchi was just trying to back to base, and he got beat up by the Hunter, so he turns around, punches him in the mouth, and takes care of his support after the fact, and invades the purple. Warchi right now saying, yeah, you should have just let me back, dog.
Yeah, that feels like the bully beating up on the nerdy kid he didn't realize knew Kung Fu or something, right? Like, he just turned around and, like, throat kicks him into a locker or something.
I got the power of God and anime on my side.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to meme, but what can I do? Gold Fury being looked at by Poppies down below half HP. No one from Fear No Evil around. This is free for the Poppies.
Right there, Poppies reaching for the sky. Fear No Evil. Well, they got to be fearing the Poppies for sure. Really, this is how the Poppies wish all of their games went. A little bit of resistance, you know, Fear No Evil have gotten some kills, but the Poppies, I think almost every exchange have gone their way, sans one, maybe. And they go from one objective to the next, and Fear No Evil just I mean, they hear no evil. They see no evil. They see nothing. They don't do nothing. One objective, two objectives, just letting the Poppies have them.
Interesting, yeah, huh? I mean, it's one thing because they have that Gold Fury that they really can't contest that one, right? Too many people are dead. They're not going to be in position in time, and all 5 of Poppies are grouped. But I mean, could be in position for Pyro and at least show some face, you know, be around.
Yeah, I agree with you. The other side of that is that Pyro is a very small objective,
sure,
and largely not worth it. Bede's going to keep Moex away from the kiss, but the damage from the ultimate is good.
He does have Glory here in support. Worst Turtle expecting him to land, went for the ambush, but it's not going to. Doesn't matter. Creed comes in. Soul Reaver proc puts Moex down. Now T850 and Lucas are on the rotation. If they want to go for this collapse on a Draco Marino, it's here. Wrath of Terra comes out. Follow-up onto Creed is there, but Aegis immunes all the damage.
This is really big for Lucas. The ultimate coming out. The ghosts are swirling. The dots are going. The exorcism's working. Warchi's Aegis, but it's just for the moment. Lucas, the Double for Officer Zhong Kui.
Well, they needed it, but where is he going to go now? 3-4-0 for this Zhong Kui. A great rotation to punish the over-aggression onto Moex. Creed and Warchi end up dying, so it's a 2-for-1. But remember, Gold Fury and Pyro were just taken off the map. They can't group up and push any towers either. They do come back and grab their own jungle. At this point, all they've done is kind of respond.
Yeah, really unfortunate timing for Fear No Evil, but that's it's a sign of what's to come. Lucas not an early game character. Listen, you're going to drop a couple of times, especially against a Cirquette, who is arguably one of your hard counters. So Lucas able to really make that impact there. Really big deal. He's able to finish off not just the Gem of Isolation, but start into his penetration as well. These next couple of fights for Lucas are going to be really, really big. And once he finishes off this item, which I hope is the Spear of the Magus, John, you're going to see a very, very big deal come out. Not just from Lucas, but also the magical damage from Floyd. Floors is going to be amplified as well.
Yeah, once both of them are in a fight together, shredding protections, it's going to be a ton of damage going the way of the Poppies.
Well, you got the protection shred. Like I said, I'm hoping for the Spear. I'm hoping for the Spear of the Magus and the Void Stone on top of it all from Floors. So this is going to be a really, really nice comp to sort of boost what Lucas can do out of that mid lane.
And what's really important here from Lucas is that, yes, he has 4 deaths, but that's why KDAs can be kind of misleading. He's not really behind in terms of gold or experience, despite being heavily focused out. And because of that, he's able to still be very relevant as Creed has the ultimate forced out. Mystic Rush and the dunk, and the shots from Moex just too good. Already first kill goes the way of Fear No Evil.
But the positioning from the Poppies was a step better. Fear No Evil might be in trouble, but they're just fighting a little bit better. Lucas's ultimate shoves everybody out of the conversation, and now it's Fear No Evil's time to collapse. Big Boy ultimate coming out of the solo side, gonna coalesce 2 players in the middle of the whole damn team.
Yeah, big man, Stygian Torment just too strong. Lucas finds 1 more kill. Shard Device for Mecha Black, not gonna deter the Zonger Donger. Lucas gets the double kill. Mecha Black ends up falling as well. Only 2 members standing for the Poppies. Fear No Evil, 5 men strong, pushing down the mid lane.
This is what Zhonghui does. He runs the mid and the late game. You can do whatever you want to him early game, but once he's able to get those Warlock stacks online, he just frags out.
Worst Turtle finds T850, and now Moex comes in and finds a kill. It is going to make it 1-for-1 so far. The Sylvanas had to pay the ultimate price. Worst Turtle, though, he wants Lucas ambush over the wall, trying to chase down the Zhonghui, but yeah, I think he was right to think better of that one.
Yeah, level 17, the last couple of excursions have boosted Lucas 2 levels above his direct opposition, Creed. Not much he can do there, and Zhonghui almost finished with the Warlock staff, and like I said, that Gem of Isolation, your card becomes a devastating piece of crowd control, and ripping it off just does a ton of damage as well. So the Poppies right now, they, like I said, they had a fantastic early game, but the question is Lucas able to just say, that was nice, what's next? And I think he is.
And it's just really important that Fear No Evil were able to win that fight because they commit a lot onto Creed to get that fight started off. And Draco Marino hits Earth and Fury on essentially everyone. That looks like a fight that should pretty cleanly turn around in Poppy's favor. But still, it was not enough. I mean, Fear No Evil comes in. It's a great rotation from Flurry Z with the Stygian Torment on the back end. They really turned that one around.
I mean, this was a perfect example of what Zhonghui can do with his ultimate. So you saw Fear No Evil kind of coalesce in the middle. And the Poppies were grouped up from this angle and the top angle. They had the pincer, and then Zhonghui goes, I'm ulting, and everybody has to run away as if they got Hunbat's ulted. Just great, great, great move from Lucas. It opens up the Gold Fury. Fear No Evil again find the lead.
Nice strike, but Worst Turtle in trouble. The scope out from Moex not going to be enough. Draco Marino is still here to try and deter them, but Gold Fury's already been grabbed, and Fear No Evil are on the retreat path. Poppies can't punish.
Yeah, tier 1 tower on the left side already gone. The whole mid lane gone as well. Fear No Evil up a little bit, but the Poppies now, they've got to kind of hope that their late game comes into play, which is kind of Discordia. I mean, Chernobog, the jury's out on where he's early, mid, or late, but at the end of the day, lack of a team fight ultimate, I think, really hurts him in the late game. So Fear No Evil kind of have the upper hand right now, in my opinion.
Blink, Wrath of Terra is going to set up the control on the Mecha Black. A lot committed onto the Emir already, who's still standing. 3-man freeze comes out in response, but TA50 eventually brings him down with the Wisp. Glory can't quite find Worst Turtle. Lucas has got to get out of there. He's low, but Draco Marino won't let him. Earth and Fury hits the whole enemy team, and Worst Turtle coming in to capitalize.
With Lucas down, the Poppies need to capitalize now, and they need to do it. Worst Turtle takes down Moex. Trouble for Floors, trouble for Tate, and Draco Marino on the run, roots out the tree, and they're going to get him from the roots to the top. Worst Turtle and Draco take down Sylvanas.
Sylvanas falls. Glory has the Magai's cloak popped, but Warchi's here. Worst Turtle, Draco Marino willing to dive the tier 1. Flurry Z has to blink away, but not going to be the same option for Glory. Warchi brings him down. A 4-man drop. Only have to give up Mecha Black. Poppies finally answer back to Fear No Evil and respond to their surge.
Very, very smart adaptation coming out from the Poppies. Early in the game, they focused on the Zhonghui. Mid-game, he steps into himself, and what are you going to do? Zhonghui just able to continue tearing up the battlefield. So the Poppies adjust. They say, hey, we've lost 2 team fights, and that means we've lost the lead. Next time, all in on Lucas. They go on top of him, Wolfgang style. He falls down. Fire Giant falls down because nobody else is there to defend the squad. Deicide, Fear No Evil pick up the Poppies pick up the objective. Just clean and clear target selection. and that lets the Poppies take the lead.
It's such a good fight there from the Poppies to really turn this whole game back into their momentum, because Fear No Evil really had it for, I would say, like the last 5 minutes, if not a little bit longer. But Mecha Black is the focus very early on that fight for Fear No Evil. They commit a lot onto him, and and it takes them a long time to kill him. And Draco Marino is able to move in and hit everybody with the Earth and Fury. Worst Turtle right behind him, and exactly like you said, he picks Lucas. Take the Zhong Kui out of the fight early. Fear No Evil, really no way for them to respond once they'd committed so much and lost Lucas. And now Poppies with the Fire Giant have a lot of gold to go mine from the map.
Noak's gonna get in trouble here, and it's a big chunk from Mecha Black. Soul and Ymir might have bit off more than he could chew, though. The squad coming up behind him. Circuit off screen looking for the Cobra's Kiss, and there's a nice stun on the Fear No Evil support.
Apple does come through, doesn't quite hit home. Lucas in trouble early on again. Draco Marino takes care of him. Warchi ults back into the fight and has to retreat immediately. Meanwhile, the rest of the Poppies find the two-man strike and the two-man stun. No immediate follow-up. They're just creating some space so they can take down these towers.
Creed's had a great game so far, John. I've really enjoyed watching him be able to just control the situation. The strifes have been on point, and his ability also to find the damage with Unruly Magic really, really big. Right now, kind of sharing top damage with his carry player, and the Poppies really getting a great usage out of this mid laner in the late game.
Glory's going to be the initial target. Last Breath lands along with the Frostbeth. Creed gets stunned, but should be okay. Flurry Z forces Worst Turtle to jump back out, but a two-man strike hits on the top end. Phoenix down. The Poppies don't even need another kill. As long as Lucas is down, they're kind of free to run through these fights.
So the Poppies right now, they've wrestled control back of the game, and I think this is a really interesting sort of thought experiment, or rather just example of the Poppies had the early game because simply the Fear No Evil didn't have the early game. And then Zhong Kui is built for the mid game, and now late game, Creed just doing it.
Flurry Z is the first one in trouble, but everyone's up in the air from the Stygian Torment. It's too much damage. Worst Turtle and Warchi already ripped. Double kill for Moex. Creed trying to retreat on the left-hand side, but he's been slowed. Moex rolls in. Double kill for Lucas on the Zhong Kui. Draco Marino gonna be the next one up. Moex looking for the snipes, but they don't even need him.
Glory on the run. Draco Marino gonna get rooted. Here comes Glory. Let me fix that face, he says. And Draco says, but I'm wearing a mask. Very tanky.
What a back and forth game this one has been. Poppies with a big turnaround on the Fire Giant. Fear No Evil, though, defending the tier 2, I guess, at this point, against the Fire Giant squad, able to find the 4-man wipe. Only Draco Marino still standing, and Glory not even gonna let him back. Now Fear No Evil can push down this mid Phoenix with no resistance. They don't have a minion wave here, but Moex still chunking the Firebird.
Yeah, just looking to take this one down nice and easy, like this play. Everybody gonna be respawning very soon, so it's important to get what you can and get out of there. And that's exactly what Fear No Evil are going to do. Here's the deal. Fear No Evil in the late game when it comes to Zhong Kui, this is an all-in composition. There's none of this raw Thoth idea where you poke, you back, you poke, you back, you poke, you back. This is Lucas going, I'm in the middle. I'm going to hit my ultimate. That's why you see the itemization coming out from Glory for the Masamune. He's going to be in the middle of a team fight surrounded by people. Lotus Crown going to help out. T85 going to jump in the middle, hit those wisps, and everybody going to be a little bit tanky. There is no second chance for Fear No Evil in these team fights. That last one went exactly the way they want. Hit the gas and hope nobody's dead, because when that Zhong Kui ultimate is down after it's used, the Poppies are able to just kill you after the fact. So if Fear No Evil can just win a team fight by watching Lucas do his thing and helping him out during it, then that's their entire goal. The Poppies have to look to disengage the next time Fear No Evil jump on them.
And that's the second fight we've seen where the all-in hasn't quite worked out onto the solo laners. Mecha Black was the one they tried on Fire Giant, and Fear No Evil is the one that gets punished for it. Well, this time, Poppy's all-in Flurry Z, and they eventually bring him down, but not before a big-time Stygian Torment hits up basically everyone. Lucas is right there to follow up with the damage. Now, Worst Turtle can find Moex over here alone with Warchi coming in for support. This could be big. Aegis comes out early. Moex rolls away and is looking for autos, but can't even make it up into the air. He's been deleted.
Meanwhile, T850 is going to get stunned out. The pinball not going to be able to find the target. Fear No Evil running away. T85 gets rooted. Poppies playing this soft. Not really hard committing just yet.
That's right. Once they're able to find the kill on the Moex, they kind of got what they needed. They can force Fear No Evil back, come get control of this Fire Giant pit, and now force another fight. Mecha Black goes in, freeze into the wall. T850, the tree, has nowhere to go. It's just too cold. Flurry Z has got to run away. 5v3 as they turn back towards the FG.
Here it is. It's up, and it's going to be the Poppies aggressing here on the big boy. Already down to 60%. Fear No Evil in the neighborhood. They turn around. They don't want it. Fire Giant going to the Poppies.
And this time, the target selection, I feel like, was a lot better on this one. I want to get your thoughts on it, Tom, because they find Moex alone, and Warchi uses the ultimate perfectly to turn that quickly into a 2v2 where they can catch Moex out.
Yeah, I like these team fights back and forth because both teams are quickly identifying what's going wrong for them in the preceding fight. Mid-game, it was all about just Officer Jean-Qui coming through and locking everybody up, and the Poppy said, word, shell, and kill him. That's what we're going to do. Now, here's the thing. That's the same strategy you have to execute here in the late game, but Fear No Evil a little bit better equipped to just continue doing what they do, and Moex is crushing it right now. So when you try to focus down Lucas, that means Moex is just free casting any of your players. Warchi able to cut him down before he gets to the sky. Probably one of the bigger plays that the Poppies made this game.
So big for them. I mean, you talked about how much Moex has been doing for the squad. It's hard to be ahead of a Jean-Qui in terms of damage. His ult just hits everyone for free, especially on a ROM where so much of his damage can feel single target focus. So it really is impressive how well Moex has been able to play this game so far, finding the important targets and burning them down quickly. As now Tier 2 tower being sieged by the Poppies. They have the Fire Giant. Fear No Evil, of course, not going to come out and defend this. They're trying to push those minions away from the left side Phoenix.
I really want to see a Rod of Tahuti for Lucas. I do think it's going to be the Chronos Pendant. He doesn't have any cooldown whatsoever.
Sure.
I still would rather see, I want to see the Rod of Tahuti. I want to see him sell penetration boots for cooldown boots. He's got Spear of the Magus and Obsidian Shard. Swap out purple for blue, baby. Get the CDR by way of your foot, and then go and grab the Rod of Tahuti. Jean-Qui, he throws a card out to control and slow everybody, pops the ultimate, and then just waddles around. And then if he hits the exorcism on players that are below 50%, they will just die if he buys Rod of Tahuti. So I want to see him go all in, because again, this composition is all in. Fear No Evil have to execute ultimate from the solo lane Cerberus into Lucas, just yeeting all over the place, and then everybody's going to fall down, or they fall down.
Oh, Glory's been caught out here in the jungle. Mad Guy's Cloak keeps him alive, but Warchi is going to come in for the follow-up. What a combination this has been between the two of them so far. Glory has to use Mystic Rush and Purification Beads, and Mad Guy's Cloak popped, but it is 2 ultimates committed from the Poppies.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough there, Warchi, and we'll see the Chernobog players get a little bit more in the know. As Glory, as the Raven, able to sort of run away from the shadow, so when Warchi gets on top of him, he's not on top of the character. Don't forget, Chernobog doesn't teleport to the character, he teleports to the shadow, which can be ran away from and outranged. Nice use of, nice shot from Glory there to make sure he doesn't get double teamed.
Poppy's still going to force their way in. TA50 does get the 2-man knock up, but is immediately gets a strife in response. The apple hits nobody. Big mage ult on cooldown now without finding much. Phoenix is a little low, about 60% HP, but Fear No Evil are fine.
And I like how Poppies are doing this. They know if they hard commit, they're going to get counter-engaged on by Lucas and Flory Z. So they've got to be a little bit timid. They've got to be a little bit careful about how they find this fight. They want to find one person. If they can isolate Lucas, that's what they want to do.
Getting some good poke over the Glory over the wall. Remember, he doesn't have beads available. He'll be a slightly easier target.
See? Looking for Lucas
on.
there with the clap coming out from Draco Marino. They're going to target the mid lane.
Strife lands on the T850. Lucas has been injured. They're ready to start moving into the Phoenix now. It's at half HP wall. Keep Flory Z away. He does go in with the Stygian Torment. Forces beads out from everybody. Now Lucas comes in with the big time ultimate. Draco Marino low. T850 has Rathateer again, but doesn't really hit much of anybody. Apple misses again as well. Worst Turtle can't find the target either, but Fear No Evil still have to retreat. Creed finds the double kill in the back.
And that was the Poppies just outplaying Fear No Evil. They basically did the hokey pokey. They let Flurry Z come in and look for the giant initiation, and Fear No Evil said, okay, fine, here, ready, set, go. And the Poppies just stepped back and watched Jean-Qui ult nothing, and then collapsed on him after he loses all the protections. Now the Poppies, it's just cleanup time before they get the Titan.
Moex can't even make it back to the fountain. He ends up falling. Draco Marino tanking up the Titan. It's just Lucas on the Jean-Qui still standing, but 1 man against 5, not gonna be enough. The Poppies able to take game 1 in a back and forth battle against Fear No Evil.
really well played by the Poppies here. And it's basically how you deal with the Zhang Kui. By the shell, in and out, make sure that his ultimate has little to no impact, and that's how you're going to find the victory there.
Really tough back and forth match. I mean, I really love, like you said, the adaptations between them throughout the game, recognizing who was going to be their target selection. There were a couple cases where some all-ins on maybe not the right targets got them a little bit punished, but capitalizing on the punishment is a sign of a good team. So I give kudos to the team that capitalized.
Both of these teams was really fun. If you're honestly, if you're a minor league team, or shout outs to the Little League, we've got a community tournament going with lower end players exclusively. Study this tape. Watching how the team fights go, looking and going, all right, this is what we lost that team fight to. Discuss it with your team. Next team fight, we might lose to something different, but we're not going to get got by the same variable. Really, really nice adaptation from these guys in game one.
Really good job. We're going to be moving into game two where Poppies already have an advantage. We're going to let the analysts break down what happened there in game one.
Well, I think Tom said a lot about what you can find from that by watching back through the game tapes. A lot of team fights in that. Very exciting cast.
Man, that was awesome. That was a really back and forth game. We saw a lot of really high level plays from both sides. And I think Tom's little point there at the end is absolutely right. The adjustment that the Poppies made is really what made the difference here. Lucas started just crushing these team fights with the Zhang Kui. He won 2 or 3 team fights back to back to back with that Zhang Kui. And then everyone from the Poppies just said, we'll just kill him and we'll be okay. And it wasn't quite that easy. That's ultimately what it came down to. That last Phoenix Siege feels bad when your Zhang Kui has been the determining factor in every single team fight before that. To have it get absolutely no value, it's going to be tough for Fear No Evil to win it, and they don't.
So game 2 then, do we see the Zhang Kui get banned away or taken away?
I think that we could see the Poppies prioritize it, but I think that they could also just stick to what worked for them in game 1. Remember, this Zhang Kui got off to a pretty bad start.
He did.
Because of the great beginning from Worst Turtle. Worst Turtle stepping in that jungle role looked really, really solid for the Poppies and was the big reason why they got ahead in that early game. So could they take the Zhang Kui? Sure, and it would probably work pretty well. I think Zhang is really good right now. Or you could just see the Poppies go with what worked for them in that game, get early pressure on him, and just do a better job of containing him in that mid game than they did in game 1.
So game 1 goes the way of Poppies. It's a best of 3 as always. These two fighting to not be in the bottom 2 of the SMITE minor league at the moment. Let's get into picks and bans then and see if we can see an answer from Fear No Evil this game.
It's crazy though, right, that these two teams are fighting to not be bottom 2. That was a fun game to watch that had a lot of really good plays, a couple mistakes of course, but the ones that you know that they can remedy. And I think that it really speaks to how much the European side of the minor league has grown. I mean, think back to the spring split where the bottom end teams in the European minor league were not very good. Even in just one split, they've really much improved.
Fear No Evil going to ban away the Chernobogger's first ban this time round, and Ratatoska in response from Poppies. Churn did make an impact that game?
He did, very much so, for Warchi. The one play where he's able to head back and fight Moex very, very quickly and turn it into a 2v2 instead of a 2v1. That was a really big play, and no other hunter does that as well as Chernobog.
Well, closest to it will probably be Apollo, I guess.
Right.
Or Neath World Weaver, but then it's not physically there. Artemis taken out 2, which means the rise of what hunter's probably top priority now? Xbalanque's kind of fallen against that.
Xbalanque is the first one, but more importantly than that, Giannis is on the table here, and this does take Fear No Evil away from that Zhang Kui in the mid lane, which I think is something to take note of, but giving Lucas Giannis is definitely what I would have done if I'm in Fear No Evil shoes.
Pappy's going to take Discordia here. I wouldn't mind seeing if Pappies don't pick it, that Fear No Evil take that Xbalanque, because Darkness of Nights plus through space and time from Giannis is such a lovely combination.
The quick Susano selection for Worst Turtle to try and keep up with this Giannis. This is the assassin that gives Giannis the most trouble by far. Can pull him away from his portals, away from his ultimate walls, and then, of course, follow him with Jetstream as well. I think that it's a smart pick.
It might be a smart pick, but I think Fear No Evil countered that nicely straight away with that RTO pickup.
Yeah, true.
RTO, not the strongest of strong, but still definitely viable and good in certain compositions. Cripple effect is the major thing that a lot of people notice about it. It just locks people in place.
Yeah, really hard to deal with for Susano in particular, where a lot of his damage is coming from movement abilities at the same time, and that'll shut all that down. But Athena gets all the way down here. Athena was open for Fear No Evil to take both gods of the Poppies banned away in game 1, but so they went for the RDO and the ROM combination.
Yeah.
A little bit interesting. I think Poppies feel pretty good about getting Athena here.
Could have looked at RTO and Athena, but then you've got to put RTO solo or Athena solo, I guess. I do like having the Athena for Poppies, though, just to answer back that global presence from Giannis.
Yep.
Sylvanas Raven taken up by Poppies, and it's Ymir taken away by Fear No Evil. Very surprised to see the Ymir ban there. Ymir's really only picks into certain compositions, and I think it was because
You know, they just wasn't the right place. I don't know about Ymir.
Fear No Evil's composition can be kind of vulnerable to Ymir. Artio and Rom both can struggle against that Ymir wall. Sure, but in Mecha Black being in the solo lane here for the Poppies, it's someone who hasn't been in the league for a super long time, certainly during the summer split, but hasn't always looked like a top-tier solo laner. You played it last game, looked pretty okay on it. Force him to show you something else, I think, is the idea.
Sobek and then Najar locked in, so that RTO could still be in the support solo lane. But Fear No Evil need one more pick. It is a support or a solo laner. I probably would like to see a solid solo laner here. Cerberus, yeah, that kind of fits the bill.
Yeah, so it is likely to be RDO support, which I think is just fine here. The Sobek versus Cerberus lane, we see it all the time now. It's just kind of a hurry up and wait sort of lane until the team fights happen. Hachiman last pick, nice and safe. Again, surprised that no Xbalanque, but Poppies feel like they don't need any more global pressure. Poppy's team fight here is just incredible.
It really is. Although
they've got so much control and damage.
Fear No Evil, mobility, and a good team fight opportunity for themselves as well. I mean, RTO Cerberus frontlining for you.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty good, decent bit of self-peel on the Giannis and Rama too.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit worried about Fear No Evil's consistent damage in this game. I mean, it's not a lot of AoE either. You've got hard-to-hit skill shots for your team. Poppies have a much easier time executing that comp.
I think that's the issue here. If Fear No Evil can find those skill shots, maybe they win.
Yes, I mean, if they're on, this comp could steamroll the Poppies, but the Poppies can just kind of go with the natural flow of the game, and I think they can find a win here.
Well, the casters are standing by to bring you game 2. We'll find out if Poppies can put this to bed in 2 games.
That's what Poppies are going to be aiming for, but Fear No Evil want to try and force their way into a Game 3, and we just saw the drafts come into place. We're going to see Moex on that Rom again, Flurry Z on the Cerberus again. Those are some of the players that really had good games. That could be enough to force them into a Game 3 here.
Yeah, Fear No Evil right now flexing the Naja, one of my favorite picks, but no such thing as, well, very few evergreen selections. And when I look at this Naja, I don't really see a target that I really want to get out of the game at any point in time. I mean, sure, you can jump on some of the squishies, but I don't know. Glory here, I don't think it's a bad choice, don't get me wrong. I just think you might have been able to find a better option.
Certainly, Naja, can be pretty good at taking down one target with a pick, but a lot of the times you also want to have some nice big mage damage waiting, and certainly Giannis does damage. We say this a lot. We don't mean that Giannis doesn't destroy people, but when you follow up with the unstable vortex afterwards, it's not quite the same as maybe some other like Searing Pain type ultimates or even like Crush Rhyme and Monster from Scylla. So it's there, but it's just not maybe quite what you usually expect.
Warchi taking a bit of poke here already. T850 able to deliver that out. The Observer today pointed out Mecha Black's starting item here, the Guardian Blessing. We used to see this from certain players when they played Terra solo, just understanding, hey, we're going to lose, sit on the tower, let the tower and the minions give me my stacks. I don't know about the Sobek. Sobek can be aggressive in lane. I don't know if I really like this idea to just relinquish all control.
It is a little bit interesting because unlike with the Warrior's Blessing, you're not getting that damage reduction, not getting the sustain from it quite so well. Now, Sobek does have some tools to make up for that, right, with the Sickening Strike, with the Lurking in the Waters, but it's curious. Warrior's Blessing almost certainly just better for solo lane, I guess. I mean, it's very, very good relic.
Warrior's Blessing is one of the better blessings in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 just a ton of prots off the top, and then even the heal is nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. As TA50 going to look for that purple buff
nice
evade,
rotation.
But it's a huge rotation from Poppies to punish Fear No Evil. Moving too far forward. TA50 certainly dead. Creed gets the last hit, and Poppies take first blood.
So the Poppies are able to do this early because Lucas doesn't have his ultimate just yet. Once the Giannis hits level 5, that play will likely change. So the Poppies getting what they can early is a nice look because they're not going to be able to do that as freely as they were able to do there in minute 1.
And TA50 certainly comfortable on this RDO, right? He does land the double route, which is pretty nice. He's part of why Moex and them have the lane pressure and able to move up. And maybe this is something Poppies recognize. They bring 4 members over because of just how far forward Moex and TA50 are playing, and they get the easy punish.
Warchi here on the Hachi Man, going to be a little bit more of an earlier game character than what we saw before. Or maybe I'll check myself on that. As I said, Chernobog pretty decent in the early and mid game. So Warchi here on the Hachiman, I think, will have a very similar early to mid game, but maybe even more aggressive is kind of what I'm thinking of because of the banner. Certainly going to be more aggressive when it comes down to objective calls. I want to see him use this banner to be able to like cut down the Gold Fury early if they find an opportunity.
And they certainly could, especially with Lucas on this Giannis. The ability to, or rather, with them, the defender of Olympus on Draco Marino. Their ability to move around the map, pretty good for the Poppies here right now. So Warchi might have an opportunity to find that out, but they got to be careful. Fear Weevil certainly has some global mobility to match that themselves as Creed comes over to try and strip away those mid-Harpies. A little bit of an XP lead over this Giannis, at least so far.
Giannis also starting a very interesting start. Game number 1, we saw him go with the Warlock staff, so nothing really out of the ordinary, but a much more interesting start here coming out from the mid laner. We've seen this grow in prominence recently. Start off with boost number 2, and then the Lost Artifact, or the starter for the Rod of Tahuti / Chronos Pendant build. I guess do more, but let's chill. So you go that way, you get a nice movement speed, you get some decent power actually, but more importantly, it allows you to build your boots first. On Giannis, not sure if I love it. Mage's Blessing, sustain, Mage's Blessing, cooldown reduction, even goes into the pen boots. Giannis is a character I like to see a heavy cooldown reduction on. Going into 0 of it is interesting. This next item has to be a Chronos Pendant, in my opinion.
Certainly would make up for some of that cooldown he'd be missing as the rotation's coming over potentially from Worst Turtle. Instead, he's going to start moving towards red buff. No, he is going to come right on back. Red buff wasn't there, so he'll try and get this purple one once it ends up spawning, but certainly has a gank opportunity on T850. Taunt comes in from OX. Beads already been used, so they switch over to the RDO, but a great 2-man stun gets the Fear Weevil duo lane out of trouble. I
don't like that choice coming out from Worst Turtle. You look at the beads being used, and you can use the grab after the beads have been expanded onto the Hunter. I think Moex might have died, but I suppose might have died is not good enough, so oh well. Moex trying to clean things up, not able to. Still just 1 kill, the Poppies.
Glory has gone aggressive to try and take away those back Harpies and can't quite find them. You know, you mentioned Doom Orb earlier. I think that might be my favorite item name. Isn't that just a cool name?
I really like it.
Doom Orb.
Yeah, no, I really like it. It was fun when it was a good item.
You say you don't like Doom Orb now?
No, I don't. I used to like to do more with Doom Orb. It was an aggressive item that you would be punished for if you over-aggressed, but would give you the lead. It was more power than the other options, but definitely fragile, because if you died, you lost some of your stacks and lost some of your power. Now, it's this weird movement bridge power item that, like, Poseidon's and theoretically jungle mages like. I don't know, not for me.
Sprints come out from both squads. Warchi has to use the mounted archery to get away. T850 trying to use that cripple field there to interrupt Draco Marino, but in the end, the level 5s from Poppy do get them out, and they can't find the kills. Now, Glory making his rotation over. Now the lot has been expended by the Poppies.
Yeah, Glory's 6. He's got to do something. Blink on top, ultimate to Warchi. 1 shot, 2 shot. Moex chowing down. Big commitment from Glory.
And that was exactly the right play. Moex and TA50 have done a great job in this duo lane so far because Poppies have been aggressive. Warchi and Drake Marino have been right at the tower line. Worst Turtle made an early gank. They were able to make it through. And this time setting up for Glory to come over and find a relatively easy gank for your jungler with how much had just been expended in that last fight.
Yes, relatively easy, but necessary.
Yes.
If you're going to play the Naja, you have to get these kills, which is honestly a tall task. This Naja has to get ahead. This Naja has to have a mid game. Otherwise, the other character's Worst Turtle is just going to roll over this enemy team.
Worst Turtle, though, has Defender of Olympus. Moex goes up into the snipe, but Worst Turtle gonna have the Typhoon waiting for him when he lands. It's actually a little bit early, but they should be able to grab this kill either way, taunt it back into death.
I'm still offended. I'm still offended. You gotta hit that tornado. Come on, buddy.
Like, what if they had needed it, right? Yeah, like if it had been necessary, then
yeah, like come on,
I get you. I'm with you on that one.
Come on, buddy.
In the end, they grab the kill. Moex now takes his first death and is sent back to base. Has those Devourer's Gauntlets finished up, though, so maybe not as bad as it could have been. He'll make his way back to base with his beads available this time. They were on cooldown for that last little skirmish.
There are 2 characters that Worst Turtle can miss that Typhoon on. Not just Moex, but also Glory. So he's got to really make sure that he nails the coming down from the sky hit.
That's right, yeah. That timing's got to be there for him, and he'll certainly have some opportunities. And he had a great game 1, especially early on that Circuit, so certainly we know that mechanical skill is there. Worst Turtle going to be able to put it on display as now they're setting up for a 3-man gank on the Flurry Z, who does get plucked back in. Worst Turtle here with the pull, so Strife is not going to connect. Does have the Stygian Torment, which keeps Worst Turtle underneath the tier 1, but he's not going to fall. Now Flurry Z trying to get away from Mecha Black. The gank attempt fails, and now Glory has a chance to come punish the Sobek.
Just abysmal. I thought that was a 3-man gank. Why did I only see 2 players?
Well, Creed comes in to put out the strife, right? And Worst Turtle pulls him out of it. And I guess afterwards, Creed feels like he's committed everything he has and leaves.
Yeah, that seemed like a very half put together gank.
And it got half the results. They almost killed Flurry Z, so there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, but we're not playing Cornhole.
That's fair.
We're playing Smite. You know, Cornhole made it onto ESPN.
Ooh. That was the improv equivalent of knowing you, by the way. I don't know why I did that. I don't, just like, no, I don't care about the thing you said. I don't know why I did that. but yeah, that gank, I mean, that was curious, wasn't it? And Flurry Z does a great job. Stygian Torment keeps him from getting controlled, able to keep Worst Turtle underneath the tower, so he's still taking shots, and Mecha Black can't find it once the aggro is swapped back to him, so Flurry Z survives, and Glory gets the kill.
Moex gets his roll caught, but he uses the beads, no problem.
Do you remember that song, Roll Out? Roll Out, you can't stop that.
Too much money. Stop that.
I'm actually going to go look that up when I get home. That's a great song. Can't believe I forgot about that. As TA50 in the middle of a whole lot of trouble gets taunted back in. Creed finds the damage. Now Apple spreads on the Lucas, who also has to retreat. Moex is able to find one shot on the Creed, but not enough. This time, a good gank attempt from Poppies. They take down the RDO.
Nice. T850 in the RDO, kind of a very similar scenario to the Sylvanas where he's just able to get collapsed on. Big note though, RDO a little bit more proficient at getting out of jail, able to find the AoE stun and get a dash away, but at the end of the day, the Poppies, if they're surrounding you and none of that really matters, they're able to do it from a distance, so they can kind of avoid. Everything that RDO does is directly around her. She doesn't have much range outside of the sort of the root coming out in the druid form, so if you're able to just collapse on her and sort of keep your distance around that sort of circle of death, you're fine. What happened there?
Gloria gets caught out trying to go for the enemy jungle and makes the rotation back in, and Worst Turtle's right there along with Creed. Just too much damage on the Discordia Susano, and we'll see Gloria 13 seconds from now.
Yeah, just a little too much damage.
He also has Blink early, which I like. He's been able to get 2 nice ganks with it, right? So it's worked out well. It does mean situations like that, though, he'll be a little bit more susceptible.
Yeah, no, I actually really like the Blink instead of the beads.
Sure.
Orchie in trouble here, and there's T850 getting in trouble one more time. The blink over the beads, though, is nice. Why is he still here? Like, what are you doing?
He's been aggressive all game long, and this time he does pay for it. Through space and time comes out from Lucas, but he's not going to be able to physically come over and even up those odds. He has to retreat, but Worst Turtle doesn't have the pull, so just TA50 falling. Moex goes up into the air, has the snipes available. Draco Marino and the whole rest of the... Really, the gang is waiting for him at the bottom to catch him in a back alley, and they do take down Moex. Poppies find yet another kill.
Sometimes you let the game speak for itself.
Sure.
Right there was one of those moments. You know, it's funny, T850, I just started going elsewhere with my conversation because there is no reasonable world where the RDO should try to 1 versus 2 a duo lane. I did not expect him to go in because it was simply objectively, and let me preface this statement with very rarely is this the case, it was black and white the wrong decision. MOBAs are a game with thousands, hundreds of thousands of variables per game. So very rarely is there a right or a wrong answer, John Finch. That was the wrong answer. And he's doing it again!
At the very least, it's consistent because he's been doing it all game long. Moex has to use beats and continue to box out. They do have Glory making the rotation. He does have the blink available. And the sash! Max range on the Warchi, Defender of Olympus, to give him the damage mitigation, so he is still alive for the moment. But he finds him with the ultimate Windfire Wheels. Gonna take him up, bring him right back down. But taunt! Even better from Draco Marino to keep Warchi alive.
Doesn't have the ring. Yes, he does! 1 kill for the jungler. Worst Turtle's gonna be able to answer back, though. The doubleune for the man with a nice hat. And T850, he's gonna be next. Worst Turtle on the run. Draco Marino with the taunt. 3 for the show. Gold Fury is started.
I just realized Poppy's learned this from watching you, man. Beating up on a bear.
I have no comment on this one. Moex! Oh, so close.
Gold Fury is going to go the way of the Poppies, able to find 3 nice kills over in the duo lane, and the objective what felt like a kind of back and forth game with some curious decisions has now started to open up a little bit for the Poppies. They've got about a 3,000 gold lead. They've got 6-kill lead as well as a 3,200 experience lead to go along with it. They're relatively in the driver's seat here. We're only 13 minutes into this match.
Yeah, decent lead here coming out for the Poppies. Capitalizing off of Fear No Evil's kind of questionable dual lane decisions. Glory was able to get a couple of kills, but now falling down 2 levels beneath Worst Turtle. 5-0-3 for the Circuit player from game number 1. Now on the Susano. Just a nice look. Game number 1, we were focused on the mid lane and the team fights in between there.
Draco Marino's been insane with these taunts. He is going to take him up into the air with the Windfire wheels, bring him right back down into the portal, but the Strife even better from Creed. Drops the apple in a Flurry Z, that forces them back. Mecha Black not done with this engagement just yet. Has the tail whip. Draco Marino takes the portals to come through and look for Lucas. Mounted Archery lands. That's crazy. Heavenly Banner not able to land, so everyone makes it out alive somehow.
Warshi looking like he's at Belmont, just making the 180 around the big rock. Now the Poppies, ooh, the missed pluck from Mecha Black. That might hurt.
Isn't able to find much more. Wow, what a, I mean, like, I know that this game has had some stuff that's been a little bit off the wall, but also it's had some really nice plays in it. I'm loving Draco Marino on this Athena. That taunt what kept Warchi alive for a while on the left side before Glory eventually chased him down. Another great taunt here. He's been great.
I mean, the Poppies are a better team than they used to be. Flurry Z gonna get tossed up and tossed down. Warchi getting the last hit on that one. The Poppies are better than they used to be, John Finch, but Draco Marino has been the mainstay. When the Poppies were, in my opinion, a bad team, Draco Marino was a shining light, you know, in the darkest of nights. And now the Poppies are much better, and Draco Marino still performing and impressing.
Moex had the ultimate available, so he was able to get away from Worst Turtle. Draco Marino winning alone, but it's all to create space for this Pyromancer that the rest of the Poppies are grabbing. So they got the Gold Fury, they got the fight in duo, they got the Pyromancer, and they got the kill on the Flurry Z. Poppy's looking to be in a really good spot, but Glory is going to answer back with this Tier 1 in solo.
So far, I've noticed the difference between game number 1 and game number 2. Game number 1 was really the battle of the mid lane. How are you going to deal with this Zhang Kui? It's all about the team fight. This game, a little bit different. This one's more about the pickoffs, and this is the classic Season 5 jungle ran game. We are a jungler-driven league, and that means most of the games here in our current meta, in our current leagues, plural, will be dictated by a jungler setting the pace of the game, getting a bunch of kills, and letting the game, I don't like the term snowball, but move on from there. Game number 1 was a little bit of a departure from that. We saw, again, the focus on the team fights in the Zhang Kui. Now, a return to that jungle-driven synergy. Moex get a taste of it, pulled in by Worst Turtle. 505 for the jungler.
Yeah, there's no Aegis duration long enough to get you out of that one, Moex. That was rough, as he does eventually end up getting caught out. T850 now is running into a bad part of town. The Apple tries to hunt him down, but they're not able to grab him. Glory does find Warchi, bring him right back into through space and time, so Lucas and Glory combine for a nice kill to make it Hunter for Hunter. Now Draco Marino has to retreat. But it does bring up some questions from picks and bans. I mean, remember, Ardio was selected over this Athena, and I mean, just on paper, kind of looking like Poppy's at least won that trade.
I understand the Ardio specifically for the Susano. I believe the Susano was picked beforehand, and the Ardio, the cripple field, is a really big deal versus Susano, who his entire deal is mobility. See, right there, cut him down, can't dash into him, survives because of that. Athena dies there.
Lucas goes right through the portal into the Strife. Glory is going to come in on the backside of the fight, but hiding inside that invisibility, it's not going to save you from the Stygian Torment, which pulls everyone back in. But what's the big-time follow-up? Draco Marino is going to fall to the snipe from Moex. Mecha Black on the retreat. Fear No Evil defend at the Tier 2.
Oh, Worst Turtle creeping around the back line. Gets the blink, gets the pull, gets not the kill. There it is. Basic attack taking down Lucas. And the Typhoon for safety.
Nice to turn around and at least throw that out to get some good damage in. But I don't know, man. That should have. I feel like that could have been a lot better for Fear No Evil with the kind of setup that they were able to get.
Completely agree.
You just. This is what we're talking about, where Giannis does damage. Glory does damage, Moex does damage, but it's not like your big bang follow-up off setup like that.
The ring toss is beautiful there. The ultimate from Lucas, sure. An unstable vortex, sure. But this is a composition that I actually don't like Rom in. I would much rather even the Artemis, but I'm looking more towards the Medusas of the world.
Sure.
You mentioned this with the Giannis earlier on, John. You just don't have this AoE damage control that you get from some of the other mages. Unstable, the single damaging ability coming out of Giannis outside of the ultimate. And it's 18 minutes in, and we've only seen one Giannis ult combo off of Glory's ultimate. One, that's going to happen more frequently. And two, you're just not equipped to successfully capitalize off of Fleury Z's ultimate. I think I would have liked a little bit more peel coming out from Fleury Z instead of the aggressive Cerberus, or something to answer the Cerberus's aggression. This feels like somebody made a sandwich with one piece of bread and you had the other one, and now we have peanut butter and mayo.
Peanut butter and mayo? In no circumstance do I want those on the same sandwich?
You want peanut butter and mayo on the
No,
same sandwich?
never!
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, well, Fleury Z gets pulled back in. Stygian Torment comes out. He's low. It does group everyone. Through space and time, doesn't get much. And Orange Turtle finds the kill. Warchi has to use Aegis to avoid the snipes from Moex, and Glory retreats on the right-hand side. Pluck off the mark. And now Mecha Black takes a little more damage than he bargained for.
Yeah, the Poppies need Mecha Black to actually land these charge praise. The fact that they're missing so often is definitely going to really hurt them in the long run. T80. Haha, cheeky little play there. Shows up next to Creed, but might not be a good thing. Glory dashes in, gets on a sash, but likely just to help out his support. He's going to go on back, unless Worst Turtle says no, beads expended.
Mecha Black, charge praise in one more time. Moex is there with the auto attacks. Defender of Olympus comes out from Draco Marino. They get at least what they want. That Fear No Evil has been forced out.
So let me expand on my silly analogy there. Fear No Evil, right? You've got Fleury Z with this great setup, right? After that, you want payoff. There really isn't
Instead
much
of jelly, he brought mayo.
Exactly.
I get it. Okay.
So you have two conflicting ideas here. You've got Fleury Z with great setup and not really a lot of payoff. Fleury Z and Glory have great setup for lackluster payoff. And then Lucas and Moex have great individual prowess, but not much peel to help them out. I mean, Lucas, on the honest, doesn't really need peel, I guess, theoretically, but just two conflicting ideas. There's not one concise thought process here on this composition. It's just two people working against each other, it feels like. And the Poppies, on the other hand, just taunt into all my damage. If somebody gets away, Worst Turtle and Mecha Black chases them down. This is a lot more of a concise composition coming out from the Poppies.
It's too bad it took me a while to put the square peg in the square hole, because I liked that analogy, Tom. That was good. Once I got there with you and got on the same train, Pyromancer now being looked at by Poppies through space and time, just to try and see if they could strip the objective away, but not going to be able to. Poppies now pretty firmly in control, up about 8,000 gold, or very nearly to that, and posturing around this Fire Giant, 6,000 experience. And as you said, with perhaps the more cohesive composition.
That's the word I was looking for.
At least at this point.
Moex versus Warchi. The one-on-one quickly turns into a one-on-two, but also will be matched by Glory blinking over the wall. Warchi still dodging and Glory showing up. Rom from the ground. Moex in trouble. Warchi in trouble. Both hunters are low. Here comes help. Lucas through the middle gets one. Draco Marino gets the other. The 3-on-3 turns to a 2-on-2.
The hunters are both going to drop in this situation. Poppy's considering looking for more, as they do have Worst Turtle making the rotation. T850, again, going to be the target. He gets pulled back in. Typhoon is there to keep him controlled, and Creed provides a little bit of extra damage. Poppies take out the support as well.
Nice move from the Poppies. Want to see more of that. Draco Marino again coming through in the clutch. 13 kills Draco Marino has been a part of. 15 kills on the entire map. Can't really say anything about that. Just doing his job. I love watching this guy, John.
He looks really
good.
I really do. He's looked great this game so far, and really the taunts have been on point. Defender of Olympus is there as soon as the calls come out to make sure that everybody's okay. I mean, this is how you want your Athena to be playing, and Draco Marino's done a great job, and he's been pairing up very well with Worst Turtle here in the jungle. 8-0-5, having a great game for himself. Went with that Transcendence in the 3rd item slot, kind of going to a break in the action. Talk about this one. We've seen a little bit more of it. Tons of power, cooldown, great too. I mean, I feel like this just kind of gives your jungler all the things they want.
Mana as well, and I love it in the 3rd item spot, John. I think coming up first, you probably want something a little bit different, whether it's Jotuns or Crusher or otherwise, depending on your build path. But Transcendence, historically a very expensive item, you're able to get extra gold by kills or Gold Fury around the time you're building that 3rd item. That's when you're really finding these other objectives, so you're able to amplify that with the Transcendence.
Fire Giant down to half HP. Glory's here. Magai's Cloak still standing because charge play and the earlier taunt confound from Athena were off the mark, so still relatively safe. Now it's finally been taken. Taunt lands, beats forced. Through space and time comes out early. TA50 goes in the backside very low. Aegis is coming out from Kree, but Warchi brings him down eventually.
Now Glory on the run. Mecha Black gonna turn around and focus back onto Flurry Z. And Warchi with the double kill. There it is, man. Gold Fury, not the target. Fire Giant is on the right-hand side of the map, and only 3 players here to mess around.
And no frontliners trying to help with this. Glory, Lucas, and Moex the only ones. Glory trying to run away on the back end, but Warchi finds the extended triple kill on a killing spree at this point in the fight. And they're not even looking for the Fire Giant. They're just trying to bait these lone members of Fear No Evil into a fight they can't take. Now they go back to the objective. Lucas goes back to base. Moex can't defend. Does have the snipe if he can stay close enough, though.
Glory right there just misses the ultimate. That is not a great moment for Naja players. Moex to the sky.
Perfect.
Stop DPS. Wonderful.
About as clean as you could ask for. Poppy's grab the Fire Giant. Stripe connects. Draco Marino charges in, as does Creed to lower the cooldowns. And Point Blank takes down the Hunter. The Poppies now almost 10,000 gold out in front. Fire Giant on all 5 members. They've got towers to go take down and a lead to expand.
19 kills in total for the Poppies. Everything coming up Millhouse for these guys. And just across the way, what more can you ask for? Fear No Evil, kind of a mismatched composition like I keep mentioning. And the Poppies, on the other hand, just working out really cleanly. Mecha Black, gotta hit the plucks, please. The Poppies are doing fine without it, I suppose. But I'd still like to see him hit it.
Sure. I mean, they're doing, I mean, just because they are doesn't mean they should have to be. Sure. Right is sort of the point that you're getting at to. But you're right. The Poppies have still been doing okay either way. A lot of my attention though is on this Ardio, and I agree she's good into this Susano, and I feel as, and just what I mentioned, Ardio is indeed the target of Creed's aggression. Portal comes out from Lucas, giving him an avenue, but doesn't take it. A long-range strike brings him down. Now Glory's here. He has to retreat, but repeatedly this Ardio has been getting bullied out. I think that TA50 is very comfortable on it. We've seen him play aggressive, but it hasn't really worked out.
Yeah, I mean, last game he was playing the Sylvanas, which was even more susceptible to death than this character, so I don't really think it's the choice here of character. The Ardio is kind of getting pooped on, 0, 7, and 3, but I think that's more reflective of the game at large.
Glory ends up getting caught in the stripe. I love the sash, but Draco Marino takes a bunch of damage. Lucas comes through with through space and time. Worst Turtle has to try and dash through to find the Typhoon and knock him up. Beads and Aegis keep him alive. Staging and Torment controls the fight too as Worst Turtle low on the left-hand side. Nice. Phoenix ends up hitting him, but Warchi does find Glory.
Lucas has an interesting angle from the back line. Here comes control from the Ardio. A good setup would be great for Lucas. The unstable cuts through, but not enough damage.
Now the Apple's going to come through. That forces Flurry Z back towards the fountain. Lucas on the back end, kind of alone, has a portal to get him away from danger. The Poppies are looking for the collapse onto the Giannis, who's trying to escape.
I think they got baited here. Poppies should just look for this Phoenix. They will turn around and go for it. This is the better play than chasing the lone Giannis. Minions nowhere in sight. They're all the way up the lane.
Flurry Z is going to be the target. He gets flushed right back in, and Creed now on a rampage finds the kill. Unstable Vortex again, not quite on the mark, but Glory will be back up here in a few seconds.
Look how easy that was. They killed the guy in the air before he hit the ground. There's a ton of damage. Mecha Black, you got to hit these abilities, man. 8-1 and 9 is your jungler. 5-0 and 12 is your mid laner. And 7-4 and 5 is your hunter. All 3 of those players I just mentioned are high and above top damage. Your Discordia has 26,000. Just serve them up.
A great pick here from Glory, though. Not going to be able to get the full kill unless he brings him down into Lucas through space and time. Following up on the Windfire Wheels. After all, Warchi falls to Moex. This is outside the Tier 2, where Fear No Evil are making the defense. Mecha Black in the lurking in the waters. Worst Turtle pulls them back into it, but it's not enough. Moex goes up into the air.
Oh, Glory going to be able to avoid death there. Pluck to nobody. And Glory is actually helped out by Mecha Black's rare on the mark pluck. Worst Turtle trying to deal with T850, and he gets him right there. The Poppies, man. You know, it's World Cup time. I'm an American. I like American football. I like baseball, but we're watching soccer. I haven't seen anybody throw lately, so I'm happy the Poppies are helping me out.
You know, when the goalies pick up the ball, they kind of throw it back out, if that counts.
Yeah, that's a chuck.
Ah, I see. Not quite the same as what you're looking for here, as Poppies end up kind of catching the hands a little bit outside that Tier 2 tower. That starts with Glory kind of weaving in and perfectly finding Creed with the Windfire Wheels. And I was saying that maybe Jonas isn't the best follow-up off that Windfire Wheels, but through space and time was on the money and able to take down Creed.
For the second time in 27 minutes, yeah. That said, I'm being a little glib here, because I was very unhappy with how the Poppies kind of... The thing is that they just lingered in the middle lane. There wasn't anything they were doing. There wasn't an objective. I mean, I fight on the flag.
Well, that problem happens because they chase Lucas, remember?
Yes.
Like, instead of just going for the Phoenix right away. And Lucas buys a ton of time doing that. And now they end up meandering around mid lane and getting punished. Yes.
Now, luckily for the Poppies, they've earned themselves a couple of strikes here to continue with the baseball analogy, right? That was a complete strikeout, but they're still up 11,000 gold, right?
You get strikes in bowling.
Yeah, look at that.
But
That's
they're
a good
good
thing,
in bowling, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This was working against the Poppies, but they had such an absorbent lead that it's not going to matter too much here. They can absolutely, quote, end quote, recover, starting the Fire Giant here, the Poppies.
Glory is lurking on the backside, but Worst Turtle has spotted him out. Sash lets him immune some damage, but Heavenly Banner comes through, provides a lot. Warchi goes up onto the horse to try and take him down. Moex looking for the snice, looking to get away from Mecha Black more than anything, who's waiting with the lurking in the waters. Moex falls first.
Mecha Black with a good ultimate there. Creed taking down the support one more time. Flurry Z trying to get to the Worst Turtle. But Draco Marino again showing up in the clutch. Warchi with the last hit. 8-5-5 for the man from Spain. And the Poppies looking to take care of the Fire Giant.
A much cleaner fight here from Poppies this time. Now they are going to claim their prize, the Fire Giant buff, and put that around all 5 members. Only Glory and Lucas still standing, but certainly not going to come out and try and defend this one. And this time they do such a great job of spreading this fight out, punishing Moex on the back end. They let Mecha Black finish that one off. Then the chase down onto Glory by Worst Turtle and Warchi on the right-hand side. Really clean fight from Poppies.
Right now, almost a half hour in, the Poppies back to base, or just do something and then group up and push. It is a very simple strategy from this point forward. Can we see gold in hand, please, Mr. Observer? Very curious to see where these characters are. Yeah, I want to see this mid lane tower go down and then just back to base if they don't choose to go for the right. It looks like Draco's going to go back to base and everybody else going to go for the right tower and then back before the Phoenix pushes. That's what I want to see. Draco, of course, does have the Athena ultimate. I don't want to see him use it here just yet.
Draco Marino looks like he is holding it, at least for now, as the Tier 2 tower should fall just to make a Black and Warchi. They've got the damage.
Go home.
Then they go back, spin their gold, and make their Phoenix pushes. Glory not going to let it happen, though, for free. Warchi has to stop the back to avoid the sash. Glory going to punish it a little bit.
No, that, oh, man. Missed opportunity from Glory. Just walk up and throw the ring toss. Try to get cute around here.
Certainly would have been able to interrupt those backs. Warchi, though, now able to very comfortably go back to base and spin that last bit of gold. He adopted for this early Mad Guy's Cloak. He's had this for a while now. Now has the Kin-Size Titan's Bane to finish it out. And it's been great to help get him away from Glory, to get him away from Flurry Z. I really like what this has done for him.
Magi's Cloak is an item that just kind of makes Naja and tier players feel bad about themselves, because that's what they do. And Magi's Blessing is also, or Magi's Cloak rather, is also an item that if you're going to buy one single defensive item, these are your choices. Magi's Cloak and Spirit Robe. Spirit Robe will do the most mitigation if you're just trying to lower the amount of damage taken with a single item, and Magi's Cloak will allow you to keep doing what you're doing despite getting hit by some sort of crowd control. I love this choice for the Hunter. Oh, Mecha Black, he served him up, and T850 suffers the consequences. Look at that, number 27 was easy.
5 members strong, they push into the Phoenix on the left-hand side. Fear No Evil have got to fall back. 4 members without their cardio.
Hey.
They're going to have a hard time defending. Glory goes in aggressive. Lucas waiting there with the
There
through
it
space
is.
in time. They do take down Creed. The combo bears some fruit, but Glory gets taunted back in. Mecha Black feeling those autos from Moex, so it is a 4v4 now. They don't have their mid lane mage, but Poppies still certainly have a chance to come grab another Phoenix.
Glory here doing his job in the late game, acting as hard removal. He's just saying, hey, I target you and you die. And Lucas on the same page here in the late game. Now the combination is able to really come forward and show its greatness. And I love, oh boy, I love Lucas's build. Rada Tahuti, first of all, I just like the item in general. I think it's criminally underpurchased. But you're functioning off of Glory's combo. That player is always going to be beneath 50% HP. It's going to blow him up. Shouts to Worst Turtle for the quick teleport.
Flurry Z gets pulled right back in. Stygian Torment comes out on everyone, but no one gets pulled. Worst Turtle finds the dog without too much trouble. Now Glory gets Mecha Black. He's been great for them this game, nice. I feel like, on this Naja. That is going to take one more of their push elements away from Poppies as they group up to try and take this mid Phoenix.
So I take back what I said earlier about Naja and it being a poor choice. Naja is a specialist's character, I feel like, and watching the surgical precision that Glory is bringing has been really nice.
More trouble going to come out here as Glory now in some trouble. Has to use Windfire Wheels defensively to get away. Unstable Vortex can't quite find Warchi. The Poppies with only 3 members going back in through space and time doesn't land, but Moex is looking for the snipes. Worst Turtle avoids those and is able to make it back out.
So I said fight on the flag, and the flag is you know, an analogy. Fight on an important objective. The question I asked T850 is, what are you fighting over in that right side jungle? Even if the answer is speed buff, it's down. There is nothing there. They're going to fall back and go for Pyromancer? Let the Poppies go for that. That was poor decision making. There is nothing in that right side jungle worth losing your life, especially as a support. Poor decision making from T850. Luckily for Fear No Evil, it doesn't hurt them.
4 members strong. They're going to let Draco Marino back since he does have Defender of Olympus. Worst Turtle has rejoined them, and Mecha Black wants to go in right away. The cripple field does stop the pluck attempt from Mecha Black. Now T850 gets taunted back in. Mecha Black's taking a lot of damage. Stygian Torment doesn't pull anybody back. Typhoon comes out from Worst Turtle. Poppies are going to regroup and try and force this siege. No, they're falling back. They're done with the siege attempt, at least for now. No more Fire Giant buff.
So the RDO here has a cripple field that cripples characters.
Right.
It doesn't allow you to dash. So in bear form, nope. I meant the yeah. Oh well. The cripple field just doesn't let you dash. Doesn't let you move. That's what a cripple does. If you dash into it, it also stops your cripple.
That's true.
So RDO pushed the button, had a cripple field around her, and Mecha Black dashed into it. It wasn't used in response to the dash. He just dashed into it. That is... Remember before how I said there's rarely an objective wrong answer? That is the wrong answer. You do not dash into a cripple field.
Certainly not if you want that dash to connect, no. Perhaps trying to get Draco Marino as close as possible with Defender of Olympus there.
No. His charge, whack. Flurry Z trying to play up here, protecting his team. The Poppies, almost 20,000 gold in the lead.
An exorbitant amount.
And just trying to close this one out.
Having some difficulty getting it done. Mid Phoenix falls. Worst Turtle, a great job of splitting the focus up of Fear No Evil to come grab that. Phoenix on the right-hand side, also very low. T850 falls back, not able to defend. That's all 3 Phoenixes. Left one just respawned. Glory can't get the Windfire Wheels. The beats there on response to avoid getting taken up into the sky.
Love the choice from Worst Turtle as well to go and find the upgraded beads. Didn't catch when he did that, but upgrading your beads early and often against Naja. Again, CC immunity makes Naja and tier players just feel bad. There's not much that these characters can do with the Magi's bubbles and the beads being rife. So, nice choice there from Worst Turtle.
Phoenix on the left-hand side be the target. Mecha Black not quite able to find the pluck, but does disrupt. Phoenix still standing. Worst Turtle falls. Lucas through space and time was huge to the back end of the fight. Warchi takes down Flurry Z. Snipes from Moex finds Creed. Yet again, Fear No Evil stop him at the doorstep and push him back.
Great defense from Fear No Evil, just refusing to allow the Poppies to get in here. And again, I will acknowledge that I've been rather glib about Mecha Black's play, but I'm going to be completely honest. It's coming from a place of honesty, if Mecha Black is going to be a part of this squad if Mecha Black wants to make the impact in this game, he needs to land these plucks. Missing these plucks, dashing into these cripple fields, these are rudimentary mistakes that you can't make. Sobek misses plucks sometimes. Yeah. This is SMITE. Nobody has a 1.0 batting average. That's not how this works. But 9 out of 10 have been off the mark. This is not a selection that Mecha Black should go if he's not able to land these plucks, and not even being rude or glib or funny here. The lack of accuracy coming out from the solo Sobek here in the late game is straight up preventing the Poppies from getting the initiations they want, which prevents them from winning the team fights they want, which prevents them from getting the Phoenixes that they want, which prevents them from winning the game. Mecha Black needs to stand up. I get that his team is on top, but if Fear No Evil, they've stalled the game out to the point where the lead doesn't matter anymore. This is exactly what Fear No Evil want, and they're at the point now where Fear No Evil, if they defend like they have been for the past 20 minutes successfully, they can actually go ahead and get a tower and a Phoenix themselves because of all of the high death counters. The Poppies need to make this one count. They need to make this initiation count. They need to win this team fight.
Well, catching out Glory here could certainly do that. Mad Guy's cloak has been popped, taunted, right back in, lurking in the waters, comes out from Mecha Black. Unstable Vortex does deter, but Glory just can't make it out. Mecha Black is able to get kill credit for that. One mid Phoenix is already down. They're going to come over to the left side instead for Poppies to make the push.
Glory has been a big part of what's been going here for the defense. Not just the obvious with the ultimates and the sashes, but the ring bounce to slow and strip protections has been gigantic.
Draco Marino goes through, finds the taunt, forces
Lucas
to fall back.
Look at Worst
Turtle is able to come through. He's going right for the Titan. He does end up falling, but it's already been brought low through space and time expended, but it's not enough. Poppies able to take game 2 and take the set over Fear No Evil.
Worst Turtle just done. Just done
Let's
with
just end it, right? Yeah.
The team's fighting on the left side, Phoenix, and Worst Turtle goes, nah, B, I got this, and just goes directly on the Titan, and it's halfway dead before anybody looks at him. I love that choice for the jungler. Worst Turtle was doing it from minute 1, a big part of what enabled his team to get the victory, and ultimately what kills the Titan.
And it's too bad because Glory gets caught out at the beginning of that push, and that really changes the complexion of that whole Phoenix siege. He's been so important for them. And I think perhaps looking maybe to find a pick, looking for kind of the exact opposite of that, where maybe he can find a pick and turn that game around, but instead he's the one that ends up falling.
Yeah, a little bit rough there for the jungler. I did like his Najah towards the end of it. Was really finding the surgical precision that I was talking about. I mentioned him being a specialist on the Najah. Did what he needed to do, just unfortunately not enough for the team to find the victory.
No, not in this case. It's going to be Poppies that come out on top. We'll get it back to the analysts so they can tell us a little bit more about what happened.
Thanks a lot, guys. And yeah, big one from that was Poppies were dominant in that game. It just took them a very long time to end that game out.
I know. I feel like I'm going to take off my headset after this deck segment, walk out there, and Poppies are still going to be on left side Phoenix trying to siege.
Trying to get it down.
They spent an eternity there. But I think talking about how they got to that point is a little bit more relevant than actually what happened there. Is that Worst Turtle, man, his play in this set was really impressive. I mean, the Circuit in game 1, the Susano here in game 2. This change in the jungle for the Poppies has clearly made a lot of difference for them. I mean, Mr. Nazer was like the guy in the mid lane for them for a while. Draco Marino in the support role was a lot of the reason why people were excited about this team. But with those guys, I mean, Draco's still there. Mr. Nazer not, obviously. Worst Turtle has really stepped up, and that's exactly what Poppies needed with this big change of identity.
And it's worked out well for them here. I mean, the main thing that you can say about Fear No Evil's comp, the RTO and Cerberus were the front line, and they got heavily abused in that game.
Yes.
I think it was like 0-11 for the RTO, 0-7 for the Cerberus. And when your front line's no longer there, which is what we were talking about going into this game, that they've got a solid front line, but they just couldn't survive.
Right. The Susano was a big reason why. The AoE control from the Poppies was a big reason why. And I just think that RDO isn't in a spot where I'd be second picking her. Even against Susano, you could have, you really need 3 or 4 gods that really get hurt by Cripple for me to even consider RDO on the table. I just think that she's a little bit too abusable at this point. Before, when in Season 4, when it was like all RDO all the time, a lot of it was because Guardians and their solo laners were getting so much farther ahead than they are now. Supports don't get as much farm as they did in Season 4. And Artio really needs that amount of farm to be that battle bear that she likes to be. You can't really do that as much in Season 5.
Well, Pappies take the win 2-0 today, and let's have a look how that changes things up in terms of the standings. Pappies should push ever so slightly above Fear No Evil out of that bottom 2 scenario, so back to an almost mid-table position, equal with Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, right there. It's tied at 3rd place. Optimus Gang sitting at 6-2, closest to Insignum, but Insignum is going to be the team coming to land from Europe, no doubt in my mind. The last time Insignum played Optimus Gang, they frankly embarrassed them. So it's very clear to me that Insignum's the best team in the region.
Now, SMITE Minor League's finished for the week, other than North America, which will be played tomorrow, and you'll get to see Armada Esports up against Sanguine over in North America.
And Armada, definitely a team to watch out for in North America. Very nice to me, also running away with North America, but Armada is their closest contender right now, formerly known as Team Voltic. There's a team that's really fun to watch, so I definitely recommend checking that out.
Really is too. Now, all these teams, obviously, the SMITE Minor League's team do have a chance to get to the World Championships, and you might be able to see some of your favorite players from the minor league there if they can make it that far. You guys at home, though, get your tickets now. They're on sale over at highresexpo.com. It's November 16th to 18th.
Did you hear that if you send a screenshot of yourself buying a Hi-Res Expo ticket to John Finch, that he's going to give you a special present at DreamHack?
Really?
Yeah. Make sure you do that.
Well, the thing is, I get all the caster tickets that I get to choose what casters go. So when I give you those tickets, we can all get something from him too, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll take a screenshot of you like handing me the ticket, and then I'll be like, hey, Finch, here you go. Give me my present now.
Yeah, make sure you tweet at John Finch then, and make sure you get yourself some nice free prize if you're coming along to DreamHack. That's it, though, from the minor league today. The good news is momentarily, well, within the hour, we'll be having the SPL start up at 3 o'clock. Make sure you tune in. We've got some interesting games today. As always, Obey in a big do-or-die match against Dignitas. Neither side looking the greatest. And then SK, can they find a win against Rival? You'll find all that out at 3 o'clock today. From everyone here, though, we'll see you in about an hour.
Peach it.